Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
If you work as a manufacturing facilities engineer, installing a new piece of equipment can be as complex as the machinery itself. From prep work to alignment and testing, it's your team's job to put it all together. That's why it's good to have Grainger on your side. With industrial-grade products and next-day delivery, Grainger helps ensure you have everything you need close at hand through every step of the installation. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And welcome to your Sunday night main event. You know, in another universe somewhere, we said that 3 times.
I'm pretty sure it did not happen, but just wanted to reintroduce ourselves, bro. It's Forward in the building.
And it's Mr. Young. Look, if you came in for the live stream, then you know exactly what happened. The perks of actually being here on the live stream. But if you're listening to the audio post stream, then, well, hey, nothing happened at all. We are just as business as usual. Coming off a very interesting Money in the Bank, let's just say, huh?
Yeah, bro, it never happened. Just like R-Truth getting fired, it never happened, apparently.
Oh
apparently,
my gosh. So here's the thing, right? That whole thing happened, right, in the past week. And, last week we didn't really do a live show. We didn't do a reaction to it. And it seems like we've gotten our answer, but the plot thickens and we will address whether did he really get fired? Was it a work? This whole situation. We'll get to that, bro. We'll get to that. It's so juicy.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, we gotta give a shout out to my Friday prayer buddy, bro, Najwan.
Yes.
So now that we kind of work nearby, so every Friday I think it's like a Friday date, bro. With Najwan,
Friday.
Friday. Every time I always see him. So shout out to you, bro. And of course, I think a lot of people are kind of speculating what the hell just happened today, live Money in the Bank, right? But you mentioned we weren't around last week to react. Can we give a shout out to our guy, our objective silverback, for holding down the fort last week, bro?
Yeah, Prabhu, he was there at the SPW Mayhem event. He did the review for us. Unfortunately, we were both busy with work. Our lives are changing quite a bit, I have to say. But you know what? It's for the better, bigger and brighter things on the horizon, I say. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, bro. I think we finally have to grow up now. After 8 seasons, I think finally the adult life has got out. I mean, it was quite a good run, bro. The fact that we could sneak. Remember those days when you were sneaking me into the Power 98 studio to do a lunchtime podcast? Remember that?
Bro, don't talk like I'm sneaking you in like a girlfriend or something like that. That time like when you're younger, you are trying to date somebody, but you don't want your parents to know, that kind of thing. So you're sneaking them around. You're saying it like that, man. And it's making me feel one kind of way.
Bro, we always feel one kind of way when we talk to each other, bro. It's all good. It's all good. Let's just embrace it.
Yes, like Wade Barrett says, a tingling in the loins for wrestling.
Yeah,
for wrestling.
Yes, for sure. And can we give a shout out to, I think last week, it was a great weekend for pro wrestling here in Singapore. I think all 3 promotions held a show, right? Of course, we had SPW with their Mayhem show, headlined by Zack Sabre Jr. We had Grapple Max doing their Pink Fest event. And I heard it was quite a fun show as well. Both times I was there, both times I missed out on the show, bro. I damn annoyed.
Yeah. So you were there to check out the other stuff, but you weren't there during the wrestling shows. I understand.
Yeah, the first one, I think I was out dating my girlfriend and we just about missed it. So, but we stayed for the cat parade, so that was cool.
That was cool. Very cool.
Yeah. The next day I was there, but I was too early, bro. Too early. I was gymming. Yeah.
So the drag queen who commented on our video from last week, right?
Yeah.
It's an old friend of mine, lah.
So you know the fella. I mean the lady.
He's drag queen. He's a guy. He dresses up as a girl. D Normus, aka Desmond. Oh my gosh. We go like a long time ago, way back. Fun fact, huh? Back in, I think it was the 2010s. I forget the year. Oh my God, I'm dating myself here. But I took part in this talent search, bro, in Singapore.
You took part in what kind of talent search, bro?
It's for TV, radio, and print.
Okay.
It tells you the era I'm in. It's like you can be the next. It was called the next big thing. right?
Oh, okay, okay. No, I was just trying to put two and two together. You met the Enormous, you took part in the talent show. I was just thinking,
Oh,
I mean, I'm not, hey, you do you,
no,
Mr. Young. You do
not
you.
that kind. No, no, not that kind of talent show. This was when we were all very much younger and we wanted to be on TV, on radio, be a quote unquote local celebrity, that kind of thing, right? So I took part in the next big thing. In fact, I did not win. But that was my sort of my foot in the door in the entertainment business, right? That's how I fell in love with radio. But Desmond Charles, he won the contest.
Oh, I see. Wait, but you said it was in the 2010s, but weren't you already on radio by then?
Okay, so that's why I think I have the timing wrong. I think it might be early 2000s, which makes this even.
Oh dear,
crazier.
you're really dating yourself.
I really did. The next big thing is Brock Lesnar. Yes, Nashwan, I was competing to be Brock Lesnar.
Funnily enough, Brock Lesnar debuted around the same time, so you might not be wrong after all.
Yeah, I should have done the Brock Lesnar dance. Also, interesting thing, right? And I guess we can talk about it since we're just kind of chilling and like catching up, that kind of stuff, right? During the contest, there were 8 finalists, and there was only one guy interested in girls in that finalist.
Sorry, what is? I'm assuming it's you lah.
Yes. I loved it. I learned so much.
I see.
Yeah, so it was great. The only thing was every time we would go out to a club, like a gathering of all the finalists, right? I'd be like, why y'all bring me here? There's nothing for me here. It's only for y'all. If you know what I mean, you get my drift.
I know what you mean, bro.
The type of club.
It's so fascinating listening about your media career. You remind me of who, bro?
Who?
You're like LA Knight, right?
Yeah. Okay, how am I like LA Knight?
Okay, because of course we all know LA Knight now, WWE superstar, bona fide, celebrity. But for a long time, you will see suddenly LA Knight appear in all these like random things. Remember that
Side quest.
He appeared as a contestant in The Hero, in The Raw.
Yeah.
And then he appeared as a personal, like trainer, Stephanie McMahon's gym workout video, DVD shit.
Yeah.
I guess your career is like, maybe if I peel back, look at YouTube, they got one time random Mr. Young taking part in the event, bro. You never know.
Bro, I'm a journeyman, bro. Journeyman. And in fact, there is a video somewhere out there on YouTube of me proposing to Lady Gaga. I posted about this on my Instagram and my TikTok. Yes, and she said yes.
Bro, okay, Mr. Young. So you're telling me you got a side chick who is a celebrity lah? That's what you're saying lah. I tell your wife.
Bro, she knows she's very much okay with it, bro. It's Lady Gaga. The word celebrity doesn't apply to her. She's an icon at this point.
Were you there for her recent run of concerts since you?
No, it's too expensive.
I've
fallen on tough times. No. Yeah lah. These concert ticket prices are quite crazy in 2025, and also I'm getting my BTO very soon. I mean, I've gotten it already. The renovation is going to start, so the money be flowing.
You got the keys. You got the keys to the kingdom, really, bro.
I got keys.
Nice. I'm happy for you, bro. I know it's gonna be a busy couple of months. And it's gonna be fun. You're gonna be fun navigating whatever's happening in your career on my end as well, and navigating all this crazy wrestling nonsense, bro, that's happening as well. It's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, bro. With what I know now about like setting up a live stream room and stuff like that, I'm actually quite excited in making my new live stream room.
Ooh, okay. So all those things we won't be seeing in due time, Mr. Young.
Yes, in a few months, we'll be broadcasting from a very different place, and my background, let's just say, I have plans.
Ooh. I mean, you know what it is. Like this time last year, you saw my hand lotion, apparently my bookshelves. But now, it's a clean break. So of course, it's all about evolution. And hopefully, by the time you got your new live share, probably Mr. Foreign here got a new live setup, bro.
Ooh, okay.
I think it's about time the video needs to have some sort of investment in the production as well.
Bro, so, as they say, evolution is a mystery. Something, I forget the lyrics. But you know what I mean. Like, we all gotta evolve, step up the game, as it were. But
for sure, yeah.
Yes, talking about the game, we want to thank this man for supporting the game as we hustle here on the show. We're talking about Hasif, of course. Hasif, sponsor of the podcast.
Yeah, bro. I mean, WWE has TKO. Kick to the Gut has Hasif, right? So that's what it is. Shout out to the guy, he's been supporting us since last season, keeping the lights on, and he really loves the community, pro wrestling community that we have. Not just our listeners. I think he's very curious and like very, very intrigued by the fact that we have such a I would say very invested community of wrestling fans not only just watching WWE, but also supporting the local wrestling promotions as well. So, in return, if you guys want to support the people who support us, give this man a follow, bro, Mr. Young.
Absolutely. He's your finance bro, your fitness bro, your F&B, entrepreneurship bro. You got a question, he won't have the answers. The best is you'll talk it out. Maybe you have the answer, he'll just help you bring it out.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And the best thing about him is I love how curious he is about stuff. So if you got things to shield as well, talk to your boy, bro. You never know, man. Next thing you know, he might be your sponsor for your business. You never know, bro. He is a guy. He's the man with the plan.
Hasif_captures, that's his Instagram handle. Go and drop him a follow and send him a DM. Say hi. Tell him the boys on Kick to the Gut sent you.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Okay. We need to dive right into this because I feel like, yes, we took a break and I feel like we didn't not miss much.
Yep.
But it almost feels as if WWE is kind of ramping things up with whatever went down earlier this morning, local time here in Singapore with Money in the Bank. What do you think about this past weekend of wrestling, bro?
Well, here's the thing, right? And we talked about this before. There was always going to be a lull after WrestleMania, right? And now we are on the road to...
Well, SummerSlam.
Tonight, SummerSlam as well. So this is sort of like their next thing. And here's the thing, you can't have highs if you don't have lows. I get it. Like, I think as wrestling fans, we are a little bit spoiled. We are getting so much these days, right? So we are like, So I absolutely fully agree that yes, now it's time to build. And we have some very interesting developments. Okay, the question is, do you want to start this discussion from the point where the big news happened, where
If you work as a manufacturing facilities engineer, installing a new piece of equipment can be as complex as the machinery itself. From prep work to alignment and testing, it's your team's job to put it all together. That's why it's good to have Grainger on your side. With industrial-grade products and next-day delivery, Grainger helps ensure you have everything you need close at hand through every step of the installation. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
R-Truth went on X and declared that he was no longer going to be renewed, or he actually said he was released, right?
Yeah. I mean, okay, let's circle things back a week ago, right? Since we went around. There was, of course, a huge announcement of his release. And it's not just him. A couple of other people announced that their contracts were expiring, correct?
But here's the thing, right? Like, he said he was released, but the R-Truth is, they just didn't renew him. And that's a very different thing. You know what I mean? There's a difference between we are executing your release clause because we don't need you anymore versus you don't want to renew. Because apparently the TKO side, they had offered him a lot less money. But if you think about it, I mean, he's a much older guy at this point, right? It kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? Like, of course, I love to use football terms with regards to this. At the end of the season, if you choose not to renew, you have the option to either renegotiate new contracts or you can open yourself up to other options leaving a club, right? So if you kind of transpose that to a WWE context, again, like you said, TKO probably offered him lower terms. He probably said, nah, come on. So he is trying to, kind of say like, okay, fine. In his mind, probably they might still be renegotiating. But the fact that maybe TKO just said, okay, you know what? You don't want to take those terms, that's fine. Let's just part ways lah.
Which is why I find it very interesting that he, in his verbiage, said he was released. When technically it wasn't so. R-Truth is smarter than we give him credit for, huh?
Come on, of course he is. He's playing a character. He's not that guy, right?
I know.
Yeah, but you do have a point. So I was kind of thinking about it as well. Like, maybe he is just playing the long game. I'm not saying that whatever went down was a work for real, but what he basically did what Undertaker did. What Randy Orton did. Remember when their contracts were up? Remember there was a time where Undertaker was suddenly talking about appearing on one of the conventions. Remember that is AEW sponsored?
Yeah.
The one with Conrad, and then apparently there was news of that leaked out, and then Vince McMahon got super pissed. And then somehow, one way or another, they managed to work things out, and then they renewed the contract. And then Randy Orton also used AEW as leverage. Remember? He was tagging the Young Bucks, doing nonsense, and then Cody was also part of that whole, like he was trying to reach out. And then he used it as leverage and then he got signed a new contract. So maybe like somebody like R-Truth, who probably was happy with his position, was okay to take that very chill spot. But then when he saw the numbers drop, he was like, okay, shit, okay, maybe I need to kind of get myself out of it. And also, we have to take into account John Cena as well. Where do you think John Cena plays in all of this?
So here's the thing. Both him and Cena, they literally like came up during the same time. They're friends, right? We all know this, right?
Yep.
And if the dirt sheets are to be believed, John Cena actually requested to work with R-Truth. If anything, it could have very well been a situation where John Cena was like, you know what? I want to up your value before your renegotiations. Because a program with John Cena getting highlighted, being in the main event of Saturday night's main event, that's a big deal for his value. If anything, even if they don't work anything out, right, R-Truth leaves WWE at a much higher level. He can command more on the indies. And there's no doubt that even if he does leave, he's going to be fine. He's going to do his music, his rap stuff. He's probably going to go TNA, maybe even AEW. Tony Khan's going to throw $3 million at him or something.
Yep. And you think about it, right? If you want to make a very interesting comparison, date back 14 years ago, Summer of Punk. I know you weren't there for it, but that's exactly what went down, right? When CM Punk cut that pipe bomb promo, he legitimately said on air that his contract was running out, and that was the truth, right? They didn't know whether that promo was going to blow up. He just got a mic, say out whatever he felt.
Yep.
But I felt because of what went down, the credible reaction that he got, that's when WWE reconsidered. Okay, you know what? Maybe we can turn this into a storyline.
Yes.
And I feel, 14 years on, again, Money in the Bank, perfect pay-per-view for this. John Cena probably saw that as well, and probably they might hatch a scheme, right? And of course, we are purely speculating here, but wouldn't it be super cool if like John Cena got wind of R-Truth's contract, and R-Truth was kind of like talking to his boy and say, you know what, my contract's coming up. They're probably not going to renew me or going to offer me like reduced terms. How can I show my value?
Bro,
and then maybe they did that.
Confirm they talk. Boys talk, and some of them are tight like that. You know what I'm saying? So I really honestly do not doubt that at all. And exactly. So I guess we are diving into it, right? Like, okay, like everyone's like, oh, it was a work, Papa H cook, that kind of thing. I don't think it was a work. I really believe that corporate looked at the numbers going, okay, we're paying him this much. He is only recently started to become like this guy who's selling a lot of merch, stuff like that. But generally, you don't use him that much. It's time to, quote unquote, renego or let him go, right?
Yeah. All signs point to him legitimately being released.
Yes.
All signs point to him, honestly, because of all the reactions that he got from social media from his wrestlers and his colleagues, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that pointed to the fact that can't be they all got worked, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing. He was banking on, and he trusted himself with it, and maybe John Cena trusted him with it, that the internet would blow up. The universe would be up in arms. And that's exactly what happened. And, they brought him back. Because if anything, Triple H, Triple H probably, he's not the guy with the money. He's not the one that, negotiates contracts. He's just a booker, right? He probably wanted to keep R-Truth. So, if anything, he's probably like going to the board or going to the paymasters and going, see, this guy, look at the backlash, look at the online support, let's bring him back.
Yeah, and the cool thing about all this is that it works on so many levels, right? It works in kayfabe, right?
Yes.
Because based on what John Cena said on SmackDown, saying like, oh, you want truth, you can't handle the truth. Like all that was really cool.
Yeah.
And also it works on that level of like the smart fans loving, hearing like, R-Truth coming back.
Yeah.
And then whatever Triple H, said on the press scrum, right?
Yeah.
After the fact, saying, oh, enjoying the show,
So, Triple H is working the press.
Correct.
He's not going to tell you, bro. I find it hilarious when they ask him, like, so was this a work or... I'm like, what did you expect him to, like, actually,
Yeah,
no,
what showman
bro,
would say that, right?
He's
What promoter would...
Yeah, so he's just gonna say, yes, watch the show. Apparently, I don't know if you saw this, but his son, R-Truth's son, came out and said, no, it's not work.
Yeah, I saw the screenshot. I think it was like an X message, right? And he replied to that video, and he said like, "Stop the cap, stop the cap, bro." Yeah, and even R-Truth like addressed it directly on his X account as well. And no, it wasn't a work. So I actually love everything that's going down right now. Like there's still speculation, there's still a bit of mystique. And since you're working our way backwards, do you hear how he was addressed and like all the marketing and merch that dropped right after the show?
Oh yes, so the marketing and the merch, it's Ron Killings. It's not R-Truth anymore.
Yeah. Ron Killings, the last time he used that name or his real name, he was the TNA and NWA world champion. So, hear me out. Maybe they can play this thing where, okay, R-Truth got released.
Yeah.
But now they signed Ron Killings. What do you think about that change in character?
I mean, okay, so how do you justify a character change? Right? Like what? So is he schizophrenic? Does he have two personalities? Or a switch went off because of John Cena and what John Cena did?
I think shedding skin. I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe the whole R-Truth character, the climax, the most you can go with the R-Truth character is that he is the childhood hero. He has John Cena is his childhood hero. His childhood hero completely destroyed him and put him out of his misery, ran him out of the company. It's the perfect time to have an evolution in his character. So you know what? You crushed the dreams of R-Truth. You know what? Now it's time for Ron Killings to make you pay. I think it's a great storyline.
And you know what? I just realized too, you talk about him being TNA champion and stuff like that before, right?
Yeah.
The transition is so easy for him to just go back to TNA after this. Because I do not think this is a 3-year, 4-year contract. I think this is an extension, something to, ride on the wave of support that he's getting right now. Because if he did this in 3 years, 5 years, people might be like, oh, okay, not really, right? But you do it now, people are like, yes, they listen. It is so good. The optics are so good on so many levels, like you said.
And you know what's the cool thing now? Like WWE was kind of riding this like very negative kind of reception that they were getting with all the releases, all the prices, and even announcement of WrestleMania coming back to Vegas. People were like, this TKO is really milking this cash cow, right?
Yeah.
This was the first positive news, I think, in a long time. I mean, it's a mistake of their own making.
Yeah.
But usually that's what it is, right? WWE always somehow comes out the better if they fuck up and like they kind of like fire someone and they bring somebody back and then everyone's like, oh, hooray, they listen to us. But you created the problem in the first place.
Wow, I remember when The Rock came back and then the whole Cody crybaby thing and then it completely backfired. Again, they pivoted and went with what the crowd wanted. So, sekali we find out 5 years later, this was all meant to be. This was all planned all along.
They had to make a documentary to explain themselves.
If it's a WWE documentary, then we don't believe.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? I was thinking about how great he is for R-Truth and I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
The crowd listened to him. But what about my guy Carlito, right?
I knew I also wanted to bring him up. So, okay, for context, right? Carlito also came out after the R-Truth tweet. Carlito came out and said, my contract is up soon as well and they are not renewing it.
Yeah.
Do you remember if it was in weeks or months or what?
It was probably end of June or around July, so probably in weeks lah.
Yeah, so where is the outcry for Carlito?
He's like, okay lah, Carlito is fine lah, okay, he can go back lah.
Yeah. Doesn't his dad own like one of the biggest promotion in the Caribbean?
In Puerto Rico, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Carlos Colon, that's his dad, and they run WWC, which is the Worldwide Wrestling Council, something like that. Right. But the point is, he has a place, he has a promotion to go back to, right?
Yeah.
But again, like Carlito, maybe that is not the in-ring worker that he was, a year ago or like years ago. But he does add a lot of like this levity to the Judgment Day. He has a spot lah. He has a spot.
But for the amount that they were probably paying him, when it comes to the dollars and cents, probably not worth it lah.
Yeah. Buzz Killington, just looking at the chat, says that Truth is a character. So back to my point I was trying to make about the fact that R-Truth has legs to this evolution, right? I feel that this can be weaved into top storyline. He can do a rematch with John Cena. He can align himself with Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso. I mean, that's where the story is going, which is I think really, really cool. Like it keeps, in a weird way, it keeps John Cena interesting and established as a heel, as opposed to people loving him as this heelish guy, but still well beloved.
You know what? It kind of is, in a weird way, right? Ron is doing Cena a favor because we talked about this before. The John Cena heel turn so far has been kind of snake bit, has been kind of like, But now with Ron back, suddenly there's like a new challenger has arrived, and it's not R-Truth, it's Ron Killings.
Agreed. So it feels like it's a win-win situation for the storyline for the WWE Championship, and it keeps like you can still have Cody chasing John Cena. You can still have that side quest of like Logan Paul having that uneasy alliance, but I feel like the WWE Championship becomes a bit more relevant because for a time after John Cena won it, it was like, oh, okay, whatever lah. What's gonna happen? He's just gonna keep the title for a while.
Yeah, and quote unquote ruin wrestling. I mean, it's interesting you bring up the dynamic with Logan Paul because I don't know, it doesn't seem like an uneasy alliance. It doesn't seem like an alliance at all anymore.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I mean, we can dive into our Money in the Bank review.
Yeah.
And start from the main event. But I think I want to get your thoughts on this. Like overall, what do you think about this PLE? Did it exceed expectations? Did it make you feel excited going forward?
I think it did well. I think a lot of the matches were good. I don't know about great, but they were good for Money in the Bank matches. I've said this before. Like I find it hard to really get invested into Money in the Bank matches because by nature they are spot fests. You know what I mean?
Correct. But I think what they did well this year was that both matches had actual storyline threads running through it.
Sure.
Like I feel there was a couple of matches last time when you had very random pairings on the show and there wasn't really any storyline reason for them to exist. But actually in the weeks leading up to Money in the Bank, I felt like the triple threat matches were like kind of like random and they were just pushing people. So I didn't feel invested in the qualifying rounds. But the actual matches itself, I think, delivered in a good way.
Well, we'll get down to the specific matches in just a little while. Let me give a shout out to Irvin who has just joined us. Don't worry, better late than never, as they say.
Yeah, man. We haven't even really deep dive into the pay-per-view. But we did talk about R-Truth's return, dismissal and return in a week. I mean, good for him. I'm happy for him.
Oh, absolutely. The universe, you know what? It makes the fans feel like they did something, which and they did, right?
Yeah, they did.
And I think it's for R-Truth. It's great for the fans.
It's not just the fans. I think the whole industry rallied behind R-Truth keeping that, keeping his job.
Meanwhile, you have Dolph Ziggler in the corner going, "It should have been me. Where were you guys when I got released? It should have been me."
I don't know, man. I think R-Truth is just too damn likable. There's some people that universally love, and he's that guy, right?
He's that guy that has never had a bad thing said about him online or about his personal life, right?
Yeah. And you remember there was a time when I think Vince McMahon even loved him. Remember when R-Truth made freaking Brock Lesnar laugh? Remember that?
Oh, this is one of my favorite clips. Like every time, people like to repurpose these clips on TikTok, right? And sometimes I know this clip, I'll swipe. I never swipe on an R-Truth clip.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
The one where he makes Brock Lesnar laugh. You're a big man. But you will still go flying over the top rope. Paul Heyman. And then Brock just died laughing.
Yeah, and all the stuff where he kind of mistake someone. I remember the one where when he was the tag team champ with The Miz.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Triple H trying to change the title. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
And then he was like, I knew it was you, Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of The Miz. So what do you make of him apparently, and this could be all just dirt sheet speculation, right? Him removing WWE mention from his social media, stuff like that, because, obviously him and Truth have a connection.
There is an argument to be made that I think maybe TKO is legitimately looking through the books, trying to balance the books and looking at some of the contracts, which one we need to ease off, because they have been recruiting some new talents as well, right?
Yeah.
So is it time to kind of have a changing of the guard? The Miz, okay, I'm very torn, right? Because The Miz, of course, you all respect him. We know what he has done for the business. We all love his story. But I might side with TKO on this one. I feel like The Miz has a place with WWE for sure. But he is not really relevant to storylines. At this point in his career, he's just making other stars, helping other people. But, I mean, he's good to have, but he doesn't really factor into, the storyline. So if you're looking from a purely business perspective, if okay, I want to keep X amount of money and I'm paying The Miz this X amount of money, if it's not worth it, it's okay. I think probably I don't mind losing him for other people.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans and quote-unquote internet insiders are upset that TKO is making so much money, charging so much more for ticket prices and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So the assumption is, hey, you're making so much money, why can't you keep our favorites? Why can't you keep our guys,
Yeah, and it's not just that, right? I think there has been, reports going out that, TKO actually have some sort of debt that they kind of had to shoulder because of UFC or some reason. So I
Yes,
think
and
it's
then
it's almost like WWE is kind of like their success is being used to kind of like pay off whatever accrued debt that they have, you know.
or purchasing AAA.
I
Like,
mean, that's an interesting move. Like they're buying over whole promotions, right? They might have a lot
mhm.
of money on that. But is that maybe because of they are buying these kind of things, they have to let go of certain things to kind of balance the books, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe. But okay, at the end of the day, right? It all worked out. In a weird way, in this wrestling world, it worked out, and I think
Mm-hmm.
we're all the better for it.
Correct. Can we talk about the main event, right? Because we'll start from that. Leading up to the main event, do you feel like what's the point of this tag team match?
Yeah, I mean, they set it up at Saturday night's main event. It's again that feeling, and we talked about this earlier of, oh, they're just sort of treading water until SummerSlam.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. But okay, one thing I would say is like, and I think the commentators alluded to the fact that this was Cody Rhodes' first, in-ring action since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I just wish it was a bigger deal,
Oh, yes.
right? Like, okay. Did you feel for me, I felt like Cody Rhodes suddenly is like back into the grind and like nothing really. It doesn't feel like a big deal that he was gone.
So, bro, I was just about to say exactly. It
Yeah.
felt like him returning meant very little. Like, it didn't feel like he was gone that long, which
Yeah.
is weird because he was gone, like, was it a month?
2 months.
2 months. Okay, there you go. But for some reason, it just didn't feel like long enough for me to miss him like that, right? And it's a lot of the same old, I feel.
Yes, and I just felt like there's no personal animosity between Cody and Cena
Yeah.
that shines through in his return. Like he should come back angry. He should come back like
Yeah.
wanting revenge on John Cena, blah blah blah.
Is it they just don't have chemistry? Cody and Cena, or this version of Cena?
Maybe, honestly, maybe, but that's the thing, right? They should have because they have a proper history. They legitimately go way back. Is it because even John Cena right now is trying to find himself as a heel, and that's
Yeah.
why it can't work?
I think, there might be some truth to that. Also, our truth. Zayden, how are you? Appreciate you
Well,
swinging by here on a
what's
Sunday
up, Zayden?
evening. So, yeah, I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that this John Cena heel run has been kind of mid. It's not setting the world on fire.
It has cooled down significantly. I think they have went in a direction that we didn't necessarily wanted. Like, okay, I like the whole we want to ruin wrestling,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, blaming everyone, being mean to you. All those things are cool. But he has not done anything like level up to Dustin. Okay, like I expected the Saturday night's main event for him to beat the living shit out of R-Truth, make him bleed, destroy him, so that when he gets taken away, and that creates the heat, right? But so far he hasn't done anything. Even the match with Randy Orton was like we were kind of. I watched that match feeling bad for John Cena. Like, oh yeah, okay, I think it's time for him to retire. But like he doesn't give off that danger.
Yeah. No, there's. I don't want to say like he's definitely taken a step back, and he wasn't the most technically sound guy to begin with, even though he could work a crowd like no other. So like I don't know, maybe you're right. He's still trying to find himself as a heel. Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, but I want to talk about some positives though. Like I feel with regards to his issue of like being booed, like he's not really a heel. It's a great move putting him with Logan Paul though.
Oh, yes.
Like I think if you want to have like a way to get heat on John Cena, put him with freaking Logan Paul, and then it's a win-win because Logan Paul gets elevated to the main event.
But as you saw in the main event, they were arguing with each other. They cost each other the match. So it's like, you align him with Logan Paul to have him be a heel, but they're not working together. In fact, they might fight each other. So I'm like, I don't get the booking. I really don't. It's to me a bit of a head scratcher. Bubba Ray actually came out and said something about it, right? And I'm like, they should have leaned directly into it instead of having John Cena come out and allude to it by saying, "We are the truth." Say, I got the final boss to have him fired. The amount of heat that would have generated, like obviously and I don't think Ron Killings would like hate him for it, Ron would be like, that's business, right? Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I just feel there was a lot of ways to turn this into a more compelling story.
Yeah.
It's like you have like A to Z, right?
Yeah.
But you choose the one that is not really the best way to tell the
Yeah.
story.
Well, it could have been, and I think it was, in fact, a last-minute decision. Like, I don't think the non-renewal of R-Truth's contract was known prior to their main event at Saturday night's main event. Because if it was, why not then up the stakes? Make it a title versus career match. Make it a title versus job match, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly think they had the negotiations after the event.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, nothing much to do about it. And okay, drop R-Truth. So like I didn't mind the uneasy alliance between Logan Paul and Josh. I think it was a good wrinkle. I think it kept Logan Paul relevant because after his world title match, he still needed to stay in the game, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? Like there was a time when we had Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso teaming up together, and it felt like a big deal. It felt like wow, okay, the two of them are, like these really well beloved characters. But now, Jey Uso is the champion. Cody Rhodes is this returning star. They do not feel like a big deal.
Okay, they are riding this yeet wave as far as it will go. And I think because, okay, I guess you can't consider us as casuals because, we do follow the product quite extensively. We, sometimes read dirt sheets, that kind of thing. So we are a little bit too invested, right? It's going to be a case of this is going to get old at some point. The whole yeet, whatever, right?
Correct. The thing about Jey Uso is like he's already coming in with limitations, right?
Yeah.
We all are aware of his limitations. He's not the best promo, he's not the best wrestler.
Yes.
He has this connection with the crowd. And Kofi Mania had that, right?
Yep.
Kofi Kingston had that. I would argue Bryan Danielson, as great of a wrestler he is, there was only that yes movement, there was that hot streak run.
Yep.
He never was able to capture that. So I get it that right now Jey Uso is on this hot streak of like the yeet and everyone loves yeeting and all that. But like I think what needs to be done is he needs to have more of like Gunther type of opponents, right? And I know, as at the time we are recording this, this is before Raw and this is before Jey Uso having his rematch with Gunther. Gunther so far has been the only one that can like really bring out this compelling nature to Jey Uso, like the sympathy. All those I feel because Gunther helped bring that out in him. But for him, it's like if he's on autopilot mode, he's just
But that's what we've always said about the Usos. If they have somebody good to work against, they will do fine. If there's something to promo about, they can bring the passion. But if it's just them trying to hype a crowd, trying to, get people excited, it's not it. They are not it. They cannot do it.
Agreed. What do you think of what Irvin just said? I'm trying to read it. It's a bit long, but let me just read it out, okay? I think we need to see what the average WWE run length is. I think someone hired for 5 years is considered long already. Miz already overperformed his potential. Max out his GX, is what he will say. And Irvin also said, was listening to Katana Cha's interview with Chris Van Vliet, and I realized that she was there for 8 years.
Wow.
I mean, that's crazy.
I hate to say it, but it's like I think they gave her a lot of opportunity. Both her and Kaden Carter.
Yep.
And I don't know what it was. They couldn't find the right gimmick. What party girl gimmick? Like,
you could argue like somebody like Naomi couldn't find a gimmick for the longest time, but then, found herself eventually.
Well, she had to go away and come back. And we'll get to Naomi in just a bit. I have so much to say about Naomi, right? But yeah, no, that's a very good point. Like, I think a lot of them, right? And that's the thing about this industry too, the pro wrestling, is that revolving door. You go away for a while, it's not the end of everything.
Yeah.
You go to TNA, you go AEW, you go wherever, and then, at some point you come back. You maybe get a Legends contract even.
Yeah, it's like MCU lah. I think at this point in time, like the characters, even the dead characters somehow come back. You'll find a way, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think them getting fired is the end of the world. But it's just that for R-Truth specifically, I think the crowd was just too invested in him as and for a long time he wasn't that relevant as well. Like, he was just like comedy character and all that, right? But I think recently with like the John Cena thing, like there's a reason to have R-Truth around. So like, if you were to like fire him when he was at a 24/7 champ, people wouldn't really miss him. Like, okay lah, fine, it's R-Truth. But now you choose the worst time to fire him when he's actually getting hot and getting heat, right?
And maybe it was by design. That's the whole thing, right? Like maybe John Cena, he's a good guy, man. He wants to, help out his buddy.
And that's why you can't boo John Cena.
I don't know, man. Like,
Okay, you know what would make him really go back to the next level? Then okay, I know we don't want to talk about The Rock, but fuck lah, The Rock needs to follow through on the storyline that he started. That's the only
Okay.
way that I feel like this can really go up to like must-see TV.
In what way?
No, he does not need to appear on TV every day, but there needs to be the specter, you know, like how Thanos was like being teased for multiple movies,
Yeah.
but you know he was in the background. The thing is, The Rock is not even alluding to the fact that he's in the background.
Correct. He just turned John Cena one time and then he F off.
Correct. Like you just need to have this, just drop a bit of like, John Cena is like did something dastardly and then he comes back, he's on a phone call, and then he's like, everything's according to plan. And then like put the phone down, he walk away, then like you zoom in, final boss. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just enough to get the crowd hooked.
Let me ask you, is the whole, he's going to use the belt. Oh, he's going for a low kick. Is that getting low blow? Is that getting old? It's the same old?
It's getting old. Like the only fresh thing that John Cena has done recently was when he actually beat down Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso on SmackDown. I think that was something that was interesting.
So, okay, then my question is, and it goes back to, are they working or not? Is he doing it on purpose?
To ruin wrestling?
To make us get annoyed. Because here's the thing, right? How excited would you be? I always measure it by this barometer. How excited would you be? Would you pay good money to see somebody potentially take the title off of him?
Right now, at this point in time? Honestly, no.
So, okay. And this might be the hottest take. Is this title run with John Cena comparable to John Moxley's title run in AEW?
Bro.
Hashtag oh no. Hashtag oh no.
A bit too early, lah, bro. We have not reached that level,
But
we have not reached that level.
You know what I'm going towards, what I'm alluding to, right?
Yeah. Basically, you're trying to say that they will reach a point where the crowd will just cheer as anybody that takes the title of John Cena. Yeah, finally we can get this over and done with.
And it's not even a yes. Like we're so excited that this dastardly heel has finally lost the title. It's finally this is over with. Sort of a moment.
Yeah, which sucks lah. Okay, like you know what it is? I feel like if they really wanted to play up John Cena's last year, he's getting desperate. He realizes that has limitations. He's getting old.
Yeah.
He should be doing what Seth Rollins is doing, forming his own faction.
Yes, surrounding himself with people. Yeah,
correct. Because that goes against everything John Cena is, right? He's never been like a part of a faction. He's always been his own man. But what if? Well, that's a great way to elevate people. That's why I say like a Logan Paul alliance should have been the start of something, in my opinion.
Actually, that is a very good point. So you have all the challengers have to fight all his, minions first, like, gauntlet style almost, right?
Correct. You know who? Okay, we were talking about him potentially joining Seth Rollins' faction.
Yeah.
Who I think would be the perfected guy for John Cena if he was beside Logan Paul?
Okay, who?
Bro, Austin Theory, bro.
Oh, the guy he chewed out.
Yeah, like I would say, like maybe all these like directionless people who have some sort of history or some sort of tie in John Cena, and then he's like, these are the people that I am gonna mold into in my image.
Bro, what about Travis Scott? Wasn't there a rumor that this was supposed to have been Travis Scott?
Oh yeah, they were like a tag team situation, right?
Yeah, and not Logan Paul, but because Travis Scott last minute flaked out, so they got Logan Paul to fill that slot. And it kind of works in the storyline perspective. Oh, the champ I'm going to get as, a non-wrestler. Haha, F you to the industry, that sort of thing.
I would say actually it worked out even better because, Logan Paul at least makes sense, or like people won't look at Logan Paul like, fuck lah, this guy, he has no business being there, right?
Yeah. But could Travis Scott be that person? I know we all hate that idea.
I think he will be a heat machine, like a nuclear heat, right? Like, can you imagine like John Cena cutting his promo and then got this one time Travis Scott at the corner like freaking incense,
burning sage, like purifying the ring and shit like that.
No, but it's a cool visual, right? And that keeps the continuity of the heel turn. And then like lingering over all this, there's that like the Rock shadow.
Yeah.
It would still make me feel like this is a main event storyline, right?
Yeah.
But I know they all say like, okay, because this is John Cena's last year, we just want to spotlight him. But I would argue that spotlight him even more, and he also elevates people around him.
Correct. So, yeah, just to put a bow on it, and we'll come back, I guess. I'm just not a fan of this entire run with John Cena. I think it could have been so much more. I think his last year is the wrong year to find his footing as a heel. You know,
Yeah.
this should be a year of just heartbreak, or whatever, just emotions.
Correct. I mean, again, they wanted to do something shocking for his final year. I didn't hate the heel turn itself. That was an
Yep.
amazing moment. The industry was shocked.
Yeah.
It's always the follow-up. It's the
Yeah,
follow-up that
so
matters.
it's the moment, right? Like we had the moment. Like, what are you gonna do of the moment? Like it fizzled out fast, unfortunately. If the moment lasted for half a year, at least that's something. But now, how long has it been since WrestleMania? I mean, not WrestleMania.
You see the heel turn?
Hilton.
Probably February. So it's only been 4 months.
Yeah.
4 months. 4
And-
months.
For someone like John Cena, I'm a bit like bummed out that it doesn't mean more.
Okay, I would say I'm of the belief that a great way to tie a bow on his heel turn is for him to eventually turn back to a babyface.
Yeah. Yes.
So I do want him to show. I don't know whether they're gonna do this like going forward, like maybe in the next few months or what, to show cracks of his humanity coming through. So it's almost as if like we hate him, but we also understand why he's so heartbroken. He's heartbroken by the fans, right?
Yeah.
And then like ideally would have been our truth lah, who makes him see that
Yeah.
like you're my hero. I will always love you. I always respect you. Or like a young guy who actually looked up to John Cena like an Austin Theory, so that he eventually have that humanity. But by that time, it might be a bit too late. You know what I mean? Like there's some compellingness to that, right?
Yes. Like, exactly to your point, I wanted to jump in and say, like, up to this point, 4 months in, right, there has been no, like, other than the, oh, you all were bad to me, you all were mean to me. That's it. There's no, like, you talk about the whole he's getting older, and maybe that's why his AA is not finishing Cody. Or is it just Super Cody? Because I'm not, like, I don't know if it's just me being jaded or what, but watching the match, right, oh, Cody kicked out another AA. Like
it does not feel like a decisive finish, lah.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know why they're watering down his AA or Cody is being overbooked like this.
Because we have seen John Cena joke for too long. Like he has lost his Super Cena mistake, and they're trying to bring that back in this final run of his career.
Yeah.
But I would argue it's like the damage has been done. He doesn't feel like like a very like OP character. There was an opportunity to make him like that, right? As a heel turn, but suddenly he can't just suddenly be OP, what? Like there must be a way to make him OP organically. Just because he heel turn doesn't mean he's OP organically as well.
Right. So now his whole thing is he needs to cheat to win, lah.
Correct. And if they ran with that storyline, like allude to it, like, or the fact like he's getting desperate, there's no sense of he's desperate. That's just him being a dick, and that's it. And it's too one-dimensional for a John Cena character.
Is it almost kind of like, remember when Roman, every single PLE he was winning by some shenanigans, and then people got a bit like, oh, here we go again.
Tribal chief period.
Yeah, that era.
Yeah, but people were bored, right? But then they introduced a Sami Zayn. Then there was an interesting wrinkle.
Yeah. So that one, they continually added a new element to make it interesting. I dare say, I agree. I dare say, I dare put out the point that this wasn't intriguing to begin with. The turn was intriguing, but everything else after that has not been interesting.
Correct. But that being said, the fact that they had a tag team match, and the tag team match was okay. It was serviceable, but the story of R-Truth coming in, I think that really elevated it. So now people don't look at that match as like, oh, this was like a disappointing main event, because everyone's talking about the aftermath. So it's like what Vince McMahon always says, right? Like, it does not matter what you do in the event. It's like what you leave. That people only will remember the last thing that happened on the show.
Yeah.
Which is, again, the issue with WrestleMania 41. Remember, we will talk about, actually, Night 2 damn good. But just because of the ending of John Cena and Cody Rhodes, people were expecting so much, and it was a letdown. People felt like that Night 2 was bad. But actually, it wasn't. It was really good up to that point.
Yes, agree. So, can you imagine in another world where the TKO bookkeepers, they were like, actually, it's R-Truth we keep. And then none of this happens organically.
Oh, dear God.
What if?
No lah, I don't trust that enough. But Irvin brought a great point. I think people just waiting till he turn back lah. Yeah, it is what it is. Okay. One last thing about the main event. How long do you think this? Okay, 2 questions. How long do you think this Jey Uso world title reign is going to run? And when do you think is the right time to bring Cody back as like the champion, for him to become champion again?
I don't know. Like at this point. Okay, you know what I would ideally love to see?
What?
For John Cena, a double heel turn with Cody.
Meaning?
meaning we get Homelander Cody, and that's how John Cena turns.
Ooh.
You know, I don't know how they can get there, but I feel like that's what needs to happen. Because, yeah, at this point, to me anyway, Cody and Cena, stale.
Do you think Cody has done all he can as a babyface right now in his current iteration?
Yeah. Like, he already did what he's doing versus Roman Reigns. It feels like a copy-paste at this point. You know?
Just a different character,
different opponent. That's all. Yeah. And arguably, Roman Reigns was the better heel at that point.
He was definitely more in the prime of his life, right?
And he was more intriguing as a character, you know?
Yep. Speaking of Roman Reigns, 15 million contract. You heard about that?
50? Wait, no, I did not. Tell me.
Do you hear about TKO apparently looking at Roman Reigns' current contract and thinking whether they should put it on reduced terms?
Oh.
And that is also apparently ignited the wrestling community online, saying wait, now you're gonna shit on Roman Reigns' contract? I mean, to be fair, if I'm a business person, I look at the contract 15 million, he's only appearing X amount of times a year.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Yeah, but so again, we know Roman has been ruling WWE for the better of 4 years. And they're trying to move on to this Cody era, but how do you move on to this Cody era when everyone knows Roman Reigns is still the biggest star in the industry?
Yeah.
That's the issue.
It's almost like a Rock Austin issue, which is a good issue to have, to be honest. So, we said this before, lah. The only way out of this is to just turn Cody heel. And we know he can do it, man. And he has so many justifications to do it. You know, and he has so many people can stab in the back.
I would go another way. Okay, I'm just going to address what Irvin says. What about Cody turn heel side with Cena?
I don't know about that.
Maybe Elon Musk and Doge join WWE. No, let's not do politics.
Hey, that one also, he heel turn on Trump. The question is who heel turn on who?
Who does the crowd want to see win or lose?
Elon or Trump. At this point, everybody is a loser in that group.
Okay, I got a interesting suggestion, right? Okay, remember what I alluded to? You have two number one stars at this point, right? Okay, they're trying to make they're trying to make Cody the star.
Yeah.
But they all know that Roman also is like the A+ star in the company, right? I would argue keep the Cena and Cody thing on SmackDown. Bring back Roman on Raw.
Oh.
Let him eventually be the one to dethrone Jey Uso and let him hold the world title instead.
Stop. This is where I like where you were going, but I'm gonna stop you right there.
Why?
Because there's a much more compelling story to be told here. Because
Roman and
Seth, the money in the Bank winner, and and if you rewind a few episodes ago, I said Seth needs to be the one who takes the title away from Jey. Because Seth now, with his new faction with Paul Heyman, needs to have the title. He needs to lord over Raw. And who else? I mean, you got Roman and Seth, history. You got Roman and Paul, history. And then you could have weeks and weeks of Braun versus Roman. Bronson versus Roman. Elevate those two young studs.
Okay, now I hear what you say. You're cooking, Mr. Young.
Yes.
Okay, if whatever is happening on Raw is leading to a Seth versus Jey SummerSlam main event, and we have a Roman Reigns returning to SummerSlam 2 years in a row, but getting the biggest crowd reaction, and that leads into a Roman and Seth feud culminating in him eventually winning the world title, I'm all for it, bro.
It kind of makes sense too,
correct.
right?
It does make sense. Yeah.
We talked about Jey sort of he's hit his peak lah, and there's only so much left of this yeet. And what better way to give Seth that heat by killing the yeet movement, essentially?
Correct. I think it would be great. And then in return, you know what I think should happen on SmackDown? Cena can still hold the title for as long as he wants until right at the end, and Cody can win it back, right?
Yeah.
But I would argue if you want to freshen up the main event scene, Drew is already there, right? You have already Drew there on SmackDown. You already have Damian Priest there on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I would turn Drew back to kind of hybrid anti-hero. But who I really want to go to SmackDown to have a mini feud with Cena is my guy.
Your guy, CM
My
Punk.
guy. Yes.
Yes.
Like, because, okay, I know CM Punk and Seth having their thing. CM Punk have their thing with Paul Heyman, blah, blah, blah. But I would argue, I think they have kind of taken the wind out of that momentum so much
Yeah.
that I feel CM Punk, I think, is better suited lending his like storyline credibility to John Cena, to Cody Rhodes. That will freshen up the main event scene on SmackDown.
Yes.
And then you can have Roman and Seth do. So keep the two big stars in your company, Roman and Cody, separate. I think that's what I'm trying to go for.
I agree.
Yep. So, as Najwan would say, the only one who can say WWE is Mr. Iguana. We will talk about Mr. Iguana on Worlds Collide. I have a lot of things to say about Worlds Collide as well.
Yes.
But yes, Mr. Iguana is amazing. Okay, can we run through whichever sequence the rest of the Money in the Bank card?
So you don't want to talk about Worlds Collide first, or you want to do Money in the Bank first?
I think let's clear up.
Sure.
Because we're already halfway through talking Money in the Bank. Might as well.
Okay, so we jump to the start now, and this kind of made sense, right? Money in the Bank ladder match for the women's championship match contract. Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Julia, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, Stephanie Vaquer. And can I just say, what a star Stephanie is. Everything, first of all, when she comes out, the pop. Everything she does, the pop.
Remember Roman Reigns, everyone say like, bro got aura. Stephanie is the only woman, and I think she might have even surpassed Rhea Ripley as the one with the most aura in the company. Something about her presence, just the way she carries, something magnetic. What do you think about that?
Yes, she smile only, all the men go soft. I mean, in their heart. The other place don't go soft.
Bro, bro. You know, some people would take plastic surgery just to get a nose like Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah.
Like I was just looking at her profile. You know, she always like do the side profile, whatever. Like her nose is so sharp. It just feels like an anime character. I don't know, bro. Fucking like okay. And then and I know Saturday was Hari Raya Haji. You know, I was being all halal and holy and shit, right? And then I came back from the mosque, morning prayers. You know, I happy. Come back. I on SmackDown. Freaking 6-man tag team. And who do you have on the face side? You got Rhea Ripley. You got Stephanie Vaquer, and then you got Alexa Bliss, bro.
Yeah.
How, bro? You tell me how? How like this, bro?
You don't watch, bro. What you watch? You shouldn't have watched.
Bro.
Actually, I didn't watch SmackDown. I was super busy over the weekend, so I actually did not watch SmackDown.
Yeah. Hey, can somebody explain to me this Najwan?
Guna
a lot
tea?
of people have been using Guna tea. Was that a thing?
So you don't know what being a Guna means?
Only the Arsenal reference lah. But what is Guna?
What is the Arsenal reference?
That's a gunner. No, that's
gunner. Yeah, no, not a Guna. Okay, maybe we should keep you innocent, bro.
Come on, bro. Don't this kind of thing to me.
Okay, fine. I know this because of as someone who is on the internet and into gaming culture a lot, I see this term a lot. It is somebody who self pleasures a lot.
I see.
Basically, sexually frustrated people who self pleasures a lot. And because of Booker T's reaction to Stephanie Vaquer when she does her devil's kiss, that's why the internet is calling him Guna T. There you go. I've explained what a Guna is to foreign. Somebody clip this.
Thank you, Mr. Clearly, I'm an innocent man. Do you miss Booker T's commentary now that Stephanie is on Raw?
Yes, I think I will. But, it is what it is. You remember, again, a few weeks ago, I said this. Just hotshot her to the main event because she is it. She has the aura. She has the vibe already. Don't waste her presence on NXT. Yeah. She doesn't need to be there. It's interesting too because I think it was down to their contract status. But do you remember when Julia and Stephanie first came into NXT? Julia was the main champion. Stephanie was the North American.
I was about to mention that as well, yeah.
But you see the way they're positioned and the pop now on the main roster. Julia seems poised to go for the US title versus Selena Vega. Stephanie, I don't think you should waste time with her on the IC or the mid-card titles. Go all the way.
I think what we're seeing here today is they brought in Julia and Stephanie around the same time. And I think they both got an equal shot.
Yeah,
but I think Stephanie has surpassed Julia in terms of like the draw. Yeah. And here's the thing, Julia has also been an aura girl, right?
Yes.
But I think just something about her presentation recently, bringing her back with Roxanne and then pushing her to the main event, turning her heel. a bit more scatterbrain booking for Julia that has not
Yeah.
allowed her to keep the mystique that Stephanie has.
Okay, is it an unfortunate case of we have these two really good talents coming in, they're new, they're fresh, and if you separated them by half a year, then each would have their focus. But now because Stephanie is here and she is so hot that she's eclipsed Julia.
I think that is the latter, right? Like, okay, you have to understand Julia has the appeal of being a wrestler from Japan, and Stephanie. Okay, I know what you're gonna say. I know you're gonna say being Japanese is not a gimmick.
No,
It
no, no.
doesn't.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yes,
But
and
also, yes, go ahead.
yes, and not necessarily like you coming from a Japan Joshi wrestler. That means that you are automatically the same, like great, because all of them come from like like you can't differentiate her from the other
Yeah.
Japanese wrestler. Doesn't Nothing else stands out about her.
The only thing that stands out about her right now, I'm sorry to say this, is she's an angmo coming from Japan. That's the only thing that makes her different, right? Like everything about her presentation is similar to Kairi, to Io, to Asuka, in that I'm mysterious because I'm from the land of the right. Like, what? This is 2025. We need a little bit more nuance than I'm a mysterious Japanese wrestler, but I look angmo. That's Julia right now.
I won't disagree with you, but speaking of Japanese wrestler, where is our women's world champion?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's probably gonna drop the title very soon.
Okay. Bro, we're all in love with Stephanie Verker, right? I would glaze her every single day because I feel like it's not just like her beauty or her looks, right? Like I really feel like she wrestles really, really, really good, right?
Yes.
And like I think the first time I saw her was against Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné in AEW, and everyone was supporting this unknown over, Mercedes Moné. So I thought it was hilarious, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, right, like, okay, you have Rhea, who is, of course, the OG, everybody loves her and all that. But she's kind of directionless right now.
Yes, and I think that might be by design. She had her moment. She's, now they're trying to make new stars. It's kind of crazy. It almost feels like the machine is working double time. You know what I mean? It used to be someone would have a much longer life cycle as a top star, but now it seems like, macam they've cut this in half. And I don't know if it's by design. Is it because, fans these days have lower attention span, right?
Or it could be like, okay, she's already made. Now we need to make multiple other stars. We can kind of trust her to keep her aura.
And there is a financial reason for that as well. The more stars we make, the less we are beholden to them. If you only have one star out of a group of 10, you must, please don't go. But if you have 10 stars out of 10, you want to go, okay, we still have 9 more. You know what I mean? From a financial standpoint, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, and I also feel like, I think the existing stars are coming to the end of their cycle. Like, they have milk Bianca Belair like crazy, really. They have milk Rhea Ripley like crazy. I think Charlotte also, I think we've seen too much of Charlotte,
Becky, Alexa Bliss as well.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. And Alexa Bliss has been away for 2 years, but she already feels like, okay, part of, like okay, see her again. We've seen everything.
Yeah.
There's also rumors that initially the plan was to pair her back up with Nikki Cross, part of Wyatt Six. But I think from what I see, the booking on SmackDown, Wyatt Six are back, but they are not putting Alexa Bliss together. So I feel like they're gonna keep her as her own standalone character.
Bro, I feel like they brought them back just for that one episode because it was Bray Wyatt's birthday.
Oh no, bro! You should watch SmackDown.
They did more stuff this week.
Some development. Okay. No, yeah. So we had a Bo Dallas promo, and I think So here's the interesting thing about SmackDown, right? SmackDown is finally like, I mean, we've already kind of know that the tag team division is kind of stacked, but finally, for the first time in a very, very, very long time, they're doing a tag team storyline.
Okay.
So here's what happened on SmackDown, and those who watch could kind of add in on the chat. Bo Dallas cut a promo, and he talked about how like basically he's targeting the tag team division, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to cull the tag team division because they're saying like, all of you people are fighting for yourself, blah 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 blah, and like we are the only real family tight knit family in the group. So basically, he's warning to the tag team division, he's just going to take them down one by one and eventually go for the tag team champions. So after that promo, so that was like his normal vignette, right? Backstage promo. And then it cut to the backstage locker room. And all the tag teams was standing there looking at the TV. Like, oh shit.
Like scared, yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was, of course, Ciampa and like freaking like Gargano was like, you know what, guys? We should like band together. We should like, he's gonna go off. So it's like a bit like, I know what you did last summer. Like he's gonna take them down one by one, right?
Yeah.
So they will say like, we all should come and bandy together and blah blah blah. So of course, the other tag teams like the Pretty Deadly, not Pretty Deadly. Who's the other one?
Motor City Machine Guns.
There's Motor City, there's them, and then there's one more. I forgot who. But basically, what one of them? Oh, Fraxium is there as well. Yeah. So they were all like, you know what, Fraxium. Okay, you know what? I'll volunteer. We're gonna go after them first, and then Gargano and Ciampa immediately. Oh yeah, you guys should do it first. You guys go first. So basically, yeah. So they're trying to like survive lah. So I guess what's happening is like, not only is there actually a storyline in the tag team division, you're gonna see like all these multiple like Wyatt's versus Fraxium, Wyatt's versus MCMG, and then like Ciampa, and then eventually Street Profit. So I kind of like that universe. But we had to kind of lower our expectations like okay, now we had to accept that Wyatt 6 are just like a tag team mid card. That's their ceiling at this point in time, right?
I'm curious as to how we got here talking about this women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yes, we should pivot back, bro.
Alexa, it was because of Alexa, right? Okay, let's come back to Alexa. Unfortunately, I think that the Wyatt 6 is... they were hot as a start, and we said, like, when they first debuted, right? How are they going to run this supernatural or they murder everybody backstage gimmick? They can't. They can do it once and they can't do it anymore. And the second they start taking L's in ring, it's going to kill their aura and mystique.
Yeah. So and I think Triple H has historically not been able to book Bray Wyatt well as well. Right? Like he never really got him in NXT, right? Only when he went to WWE, the main roster, Bray Wyatt got booked by Vince McMahon. I think he saw that supernatural potential and pushed him as the Undertaker.
Yes. Okay, let's come back to this match. I mean, you talk about like, your veterans in there are Rhea and Alexa, which is kind of crazy to think. Roxanne Perez, earlier I talked about how Stephanie has overshadowed Julia. I think Stephanie and Julia have both also overshadowed Roxanne. And the only hope for her really is to run that romance storyline with Liv and Dominic.
Yeah, I think that's the real reason why they attached her, because she needs some sort of storyline to kind of progress the character, right? I never really saw her as like this prodigy. Like I wasn't watching NXT that much when she was like the main champion. I know she was a champion for quite a while, right? Like a year or something. But like she the thing is she does not feel natural as a heel. Remember, we had this issue, right?
Yeah.
She was a natural babyface, but when she turned, she was trying too hard to be a heel.
Well, she's natural babyface because of how she looks. She's literally a babyface, and that's why it doesn't work for her as a heel, right? And also, she's called the Prodigy, but her in-ring work is I'm not saying it's bad, but there's nothing about it that is Charlotte Flair level. If you call Charlotte Flair a prodigy, then yes. It's prodigy only because she was young. Right?
Yeah. Like you can call her young OG, like Javon Evans.
Javon Evans, yeah. We'll get to Worlds Collide in just a bit. But yeah, like to me, her mic work is the biggest like Achilles heel for her. Like she's never been able to cut. I don't remember a single promo of Roxanne that I went, oh shit.
Yeah.
The only ones I remember are the ones where she fumbled big.
Yeah. I don't want to compare her to AJ Lee, but clearly she's modeling her career after, AJ Lee, right?
Yeah.
And AJ Lee did it way better. AJ Lee actually really ran with that crazy chick gimmick and she was good.
Yes. But you see, AJ Lee, she had more charisma. She had more mic skills. It boils down to that, I feel, with Roxanne.
It is. So Roxanne, I would say she's going to flounder in, maybe her level is the IC level.
Maybe. But I said the same about Liv Morgan. And then look at Liv now. So
yeah, that's true.
Maybe with the right storyline, they could bring out a side of Roxanne Perez.
The jury is out loud. And,
yes, it is.
Speaking of the right storyline, look at Naomi, bro.
Okay, I was thinking about this whole time. Is it crazy for me to say that Naomi winning, and I know we're jumping ahead, but Naomi winning is not only is the right outcome, right? But she's also the one that is making and going to make the Jade Cargill feud interesting.
No, I completely agree, bro. I
Yeah.
feel like her winning now makes Bianca versus Jade versus whatever this is main event.
Yes, 100%. Because as much as we obviously see Jade as talent, she has the look, she has the build, she has. That's. I think I might stop there because in ring she's still she's gotten better, but still, and her mic skills, she's like the ultimate warrior vibe. I don't know if it might be a terrible comparison.
You don't feel that she's authentic or what?
No. I do feel that she's authentic, but it's the I'm angry yelling promo vibe, like that.
Oh, okay. I get what you get. In AEW, they ran with her being like that queen bitch, like you know, like arrogant heel, I'm the best kind of nonsense. But here in WWE, they're trying to position her as a baby face, so she has to come across as this warrior lady.
Yes.
But I think she's better as a heel, right?
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
I agree. But that said, obviously they are trying to push her as a babyface, top babyface, and Naomi's the way to do it. 100%.
Yeah.
That's why I feel bad for whoever the women's champion is. Naomi's on which brand?
I believe
SmackDown, right?
Naomi was on SmackDown, yeah, correct.
Okay, so that means I feel bad for Tiffany Stratton.
Yes. No, she has been alluding to kind of going after Tiffany Stratton. She's been talking to her backstage, you know.
Yep.
So I think it's well deserved. Like I think they were talking about it on the post show as well. Big E was kind of praising her, talking about the fact that she's been in the match 5 times. This Money in the Bank stipulation 5 times, and this is 5th time's the charm. And like we talk about people who have to go away to find herself. She went away. She did well in TNA. She was their champion. She came back still as a babyface with her glow gimmick, and it got old really, really fast.
Yep.
But then she pivoted, and this, like this B, I love you, B, and I broke into your house, B. Like what the fuck? Like
it's so weird, right?
It's kind of fucked up, but I love it. Like there's a difference in the character compared to other girls. So
let them run with this all the way to WrestleMania. Give us Bianca, Naomi, Jade. Maybe at Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, whatever, if they can drag it out for that long, right? Because I think that's where it needs to go. Naomi wins the title. She steals it, rips off Tiffany Stratton. Again, I feel like Tiffany Stratton as champion, kind of like, whatever.
Yeah,
okay.
She's not, I know she's not doing it for you, but she is doing it for me, bro. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
Okay.
But Naomi will be the one, mark my words, Naomi will be the one that will lose the title to Jade, making Jade, taking her to that next level.
Yeah. Bro, I suddenly feel very scared, bro.
Why?
I know it's nighttime, bro. But I'm very scared, bro. You know why?
Why?
Chris Benoit is on the chat, bro. I'm damn scared, bro.
Oh, jeez. Hello, internet troll man.
Yeah, it's all good. No, people do care about her. That's why everyone's happy that she's champion. Right?
Yeah, I mean the pop when she won, it was that respect pop. You love to see it, right? But she's going to go back to being her heel, dastardly, crazy woman thing, dangerous woman, and I think it's perfect. This was the right way to do it. Okay, go through each and every one of the combatants and tell me what you thought of their performance. Do you think they stood out? We always say during Money in the Bank matches, right? Certain people are there to take moves and they don't shine, and other people are there to shine. Let's go through them. Alexa Bliss.
I think Alexa Bliss did well. I think I know it's weird to call her the veteran, but she was a veteran.
Yeah.
I mean, she's. I can't believe Tiffany called her old. Remember she said she was vintage? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking, bro? She's
actually, she looks younger than Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany has an old face. Hate to say it.
She got the Botox, bro. I think. I'm so sorry. But like Alexa is a natural beauty. I mean, her face, at least I don't know about anything else. But okay, let's go. Yeah, so she did a great job. I think kept the match going. She did this very cool. There was this very cool shot that she did a move, and then like her and Rhea Ripley exchanged glances.
Yeah,
I thought that was a nice bit of cinema that they were trying to do. She did this very dueling code raids with Roxanne.
Yeah,
I kind of want Roxanne and Alexa Bliss to feud just because both of them are petite, so like it matches up to lah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she was good. I didn't think she did a good account for herself, given the fact that she might not have a storyline.
Yeah.
So she's still
I was exactly going to say that. I think that she was there, she showed out, but ultimately, to what extent? And again, at the end of the day, it's Alexa Bliss. Not hard to look at. Actually, all of them are not hard to. This was a very attractive. This is a weird thing to say. This was a very attractive Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, I think there was a point in time where they did like a sunset flip. Like Alexa Bliss did a sunset flip of Stephanie Verker off the ring and like powerbomb onto the mat, right?
Yeah.
And then the whole time I was thinking, was like, damn, these two women damn hot. I was like, damn, like two girls that want to do moves on each other. I'm gonna watch that match all day long.
We learned a new word today, and you might, you might find connection to that word.
No, I'm not a gunner. I'm Liverpool.
Gunner is not the word, but okay, yeah, we'll move on. Julia.
I would say Julia. I'm worried about Julia, right? Yeah. She has. We all know about her history and blah blah blah. But I feel like in the WWE context, she needs to do more to stand out. And I know she can cut promos in English a bit, but I think she's more comfortable in Japanese. But her level right now, going after Zelina Vega, I think it's okay. Like maybe she needs more time to find herself, and I think maybe being in the mid card as a US champion, I think works for her. But in this match, she wasn't the one that stood out.
Agree with you, but not hard to look at. Just saying, Rhea Bloody Ripley. Is she still bloody anymore, or she's just Rhea Ripley nowadays? She's mommy.
Okay, Rhea is in a very interesting position. She's clearly a poster child for the company.
Yeah.
Like, most recently I saw her on the Doom event on Netflix, like, pushing her hard. But in the context of the wrestling world, she's kind of stale.
Yes, agree.
Weird, right?
But it's like, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it almost feels like we only have so much energy for storylines. So for now, you've already reached this level and you have the fans sort of like love. Okay, we ease back on you first. Maybe in a few months, we heat you back up, Yeah,
I feel like no one, denies Rhea's star power. It's just putting her in the right position to shine, right? And I do not know whether Raw is the place to be. I would argue if you bring her to SmackDown and have her start feuding with Tiffany Stratton, suddenly Tiffany Stratton is interesting.
Yeah.
But you know what was an interesting tease on Raw a few weeks ago? When she welcomed Stephanie Verker backstage.
Oh, okay.
So if there's a little bit of tease there, potential heel turn for Mommy, that could be very interesting for a character.
Okay, I like it. Roxanne Perez.
I mean, we talk about what she's lacking right now. Again, Roxanne maybe should be the next challenger for whoever the IC champion is in the next couple of weeks. I think that's a level. So she is basically having a Julia issue, but on Raw.
Yes, but I mean, as we'll see later, it's Becky Lynch. So I don't think she's going to feud Becky Lynch. If anything, she's going to cause dissension in the Judgment Day. That seems like her thing. But yeah, here she was here to take moves. Like, I honestly, she felt like she wasn't even in the match to me, which is very sad to say.
In a weird way, if she joins the Judgment Day and does that storyline that we think that's going to happen, she might actually turn Liv Morgan babyface.
Yeah, exactly, right? What if, bro? What if they swerve, the swerve of all swerves, Roxanne and Liv get together instead?
No bro. Okay. You know what would be a craziest scenario? Okay, Dom was a heel, right? Turned into even more of a heel when he betrayed Rhea for Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
Bro, he will become a triple heel because he will turn on Liv Morgan with Roxanne, bro. I tell you, this guy.
Bro, I saw the meme, right? Like, forget about the women's title. Dom is the real championship trophy in the women's division on WWE right now.
While that guy,
Well, something about that Latino heat,
Maybe I need to start growing out a mullet, bro. Might experiment there.
The mustache, bro. Bring back the mustache. But yeah, look, it will just have to wait and see. Oh, bro, imagine quadruple swerve. Instead of getting with Roxanne, Dom goes with Raquel.
Bro, I think you need to lay off that Vince Russo smoke pot, bro. You gotta lay it off, bro.
Okay, no. Hear me out. I'm thinking telenovela, like for weeks on weeks, right? Dom and Raquel keeps getting put into like weird like awkward moments backstage. They just kind of like, oh shit, it's just the two of us hanging out. And then somehow, like, hey, I am there for that, bro. Tell me that you wouldn't be there for that.
Bro, I think you are you need to lay off the smoke. You need to lay off the weed, bro. Dear God. Okay. Okay. Then, who else is left? Who else do we not mention? I mean, we already talked so much about Stephanie Verker. I think
Stephanie Vecker. I think
else-
she was
yeah.
one of the stars. Even though she didn't win the match, I think the commentary highlighted her a lot.
Bro, she pulled triple duty, right?
Yes, and I think they purposely brought that up because they wanted her to have an out, give her an excuse because she's so hot. People are cheering for her, but she wrestled 3 matches in like a 20-hour span. That's why she didn't win. So she has a natural, quote unquote, excuse for not winning, right?
I think I kind of get what's her appeal. Like, I was thinking about it, right? Because, right, okay, she's a WWE star, clearly a rising star that everyone's kind of like on board with, but she also feels like a world star.
Yes.
Like she feels, when they talk about wrestlers being world travel, like international star, you can believe her because she has that history in Mexico.
Yep.
You know that, people respect her in other promotions as well. So she does not feel like a manufactured WWE creation. She feels like this badass that came from the indies, rose up and really is like world travel. And now she's arrived.
Aura 1000 lah.
Correct. Like,
At
I
the
think
end
she
of the
hits
day.
all the demographics, bro. Yeah. Even the deaf community, so I've heard.
And as well as the Gooner community. So anyway, there you go. Naomi, deservedly, I say, wins the Money in the Bank. She's going to be challenging either Tiffany or Liv.
Io.
Oh, Io.
You see,
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh my god, I forgot.
Who's the
Actually,
world champion?
can Target Liv tag team, bro?
You know what? I love what they're doing. So let's go. Let them cook on the women's side, bro.
Absolutely.
And I would argue,
Mm.
I think it was the best match on the card for me personally.
Ooh, you know what?
To me, I thought the women's ladder match was actually even better than the men's, and it was clearly the best match on the card.
Okay. You know what? I won't even argue with that. Like to me, the two ladder matches were the best matches. Ironically, because usually I've always said like ladder matches aren't really my thing, especially if it's like 8 people in it, right?
Yeah. But I think they did a great job. And again, I reiterate, it's the storylines that really brought the match up to another level. The spots was great spots. Like, I mean, of course, the Devil's Kiss on the freaking ladder was amazing, right?
Yeah.
But like, it was the stories. Like every single spot had a reason behind it, leading to the ending as well.
Okay, let's move on to the next match then. We're talking about the Intercontinental Championship, and this match was signed or made official, I guess, very weirdly on Worlds Collide. Dominic Mysterio versus Octagon Jr.
Yeah. I can't believe I said it, but I actually woke up really early yesterday morning and watched Worlds Collide. I somehow caught when I switched it on, it was really halfway through.
Yeah.
And I actually saw this initial match on Worlds Collide, and I kind of followed the storyline, and I think they did a great job refreshing what happened on Worlds Collide leading to this match. It was so weird though, because I didn't think they were gonna, of all the luchadors that they chose to be in the match, they chose this Octagon Jr.
Maybe they have a lot of, like hope for this guy. Maybe they're going to bring him in.
But from what I saw, how is he any different from Dragon Lee? You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't... fuck, should have put Mr. Iguana in the spot.
Yeah, he could have bro, Mr. Iguana is the, sort of like the, what's that guy's name? Joe Hendry. Like one of those, like, okay, he's kind of goofy, silly. Then, of course, the question is, how is he any different from like a Pockets...
Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy, right? Like a joke act.
Yeah. But we'll talk about La Yesca and Mr. Iguana later on. But Octagon Jr., I think, they were trying to showcase him clearly, the AAA, the partnership. And, I think it was a good thing in concept.
Yeah.
But I didn't really take away much from the match. Like, I didn't feel like he was a star. I didn't feel like, wow, I need to see what he's doing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, it was just a title defense for Dom. And I thought Dom, like, the crowd loves Dom. So I was focused more on Dom's reaction from the crowd.
I think it was a case of Dom was just the much bigger star, and he completely like outshined Octagon. Like Octagon is like literally a new guy. If they didn't watch Worlds Collide, you'd be like, who is this masked fella? Like some random masked fella, right?
Yeah, it felt like a Saturday Shogun show, like a random guy from another promotion.
And to your point, it's not like he's doing moves that we've never seen before. Like, wow, he's so amazing, like incredible. Like, okay, this is like standard lucha stuff. Like, you have guys that do that already.
Correct. So again, I agree with Najwa. I mean, not the fact that Wagner should have been on. Didn't really feel that he stood out as well. But they could have just given other people with a more distinct lucha look. Maybe that's it. That's it, because he looks too typical of what a luchador is.
Yeah.
I would, if they put like a psycho clown, like people with a very distinct look, maybe it could have stood out more.
Irvin brings up a good point. Maybe they just wanted someone to job out to Dom to start a AAA feud, which makes sense, right? You don't want to job out somebody who has a higher quote unquote status or potential. So you start out with the guy like Octagon. Like, I don't know where he is in terms of AAA. Like, if he's a
top star,
opener, mid card, top star. But yeah, it was just a match. It wasn't a horrible match. It wasn't a great match. It was just there, right?
But if this opens the door to Dom doing more stuff in AAA, I think that will actually help him with his street cred a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine the vignettes? Can you imagine Judgment Day in Mexico and the shit they do?
Oh my God, that would be hilarious.
Or you could do a thing where Liv cannot go because she has commitments in the US. So he goes with Roxanne. Oh!
And then Roxanne got a bit of the Latina in her, right?
Yeah. Or Dom goes with Roxanne and Raquel. And then they do... Hey. Hang on.
What, Mr. Young?
Bear with me. Goes with Roxanne and Raquel. And then they run this whole, mystery. Did he cheat? All that kind of thing. And everyone's going to assume that he cheated with, Roxanne. But then it turns out it was Raquel. Bro.
Lay off the Vince Russo smoke pot, bro. Lay off, bro.
Bro, I am shipping Dom and Raquel right now.
Okay, we're spending way too long on this match.
Okay, come. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. Last chance match. If Becky loses, she would never challenge Lyra again for the IC title, blah, 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 whatever. It was just to raise stakes, right? I mean, they had really good matches previously already.
Yeah. Interesting gear from Becky.
Yeah, that's like her new look. Like, how would you describe? It's like t-shirt and workout pants.
She was going for the Lita look, bro. Lita used to wrestle in a tank top and a baggy pants, what?
Yeah, but Lita never wore just white with words on it. Lita had like fishnet had like bright colors.
Okay, so I wasn't following a bit, I was kind of in and out when I saw this match. So I honestly thought, was this a street fight? Because she's kind of wearing like street fight style clothes, right?
Yeah.
But the match itself, I would say the Backlash match was better from what I remembered. The outcome was interesting. Okay, maybe it was kind of projected because they say it's the last chance.
Yeah.
If Becky loses, she couldn't win. So they had to kind of get Becky to win to continue the story.
And also, Lyra has fallen into that. She became champion a little bit too quick, and now she's better in the chase. I think they needed to give people more reason to support her.
What do you think of a bird lady kind of like entrance? Like, are they doing too much with that?
I think it makes her unique.
Oh, you do like it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. I don't like it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I don't know, because like bird lady sounds like a cool character, but okay. I mean, I know you think she's attractive. I mean, you do think she's attractive. I
think she's a great wrestler. I think she's very good in the ring.
Okay.
And yes, I think she's very attractive as well.
Yes, you were simping about her for a bit. So I kind of I feel like her being a bird lady gives her a bit of like you're right, like she's unique. A very interesting presentation. But like I don't know, bro. I just keep thinking of the gobbledygooker too much. Like the freaking Red Rooster. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry about Terry Taylor. Like,
all the poultry themed wrestlers can on,
How do you make that main event? That's my question.
You grow out of it. At some point, Becky they need to have that match where she sheds her feathers. She sheds her feathers. But she loses, quote unquote, loses her wings, sheds her feathers, evolves, right? We are still in the early stages of Lyra Valkyria as a character.
Yeah, they say Najwan ask the real questions, bro. When will she lay an egg?
Oh, jeez. And
You know
then
what I mean?
the egg will be on the stage for like a few months and then it will hatch during,
Yeah.
is it SummerSlam or Survivor Series?
Survivor Series.
Survivor
Series.
Series.
It's nonsense.
The Thanksgiving Classic.
Okay, but I thought her losing the title is the right move.
Yes,
and
agree.
Becky being a bitch, asking her to like raise her hand. All that. I thought that was great heel work. But it was so interesting. What do you think of the baby face kind of like jumping on the heel and her delivering that? Did it feel cathartic? I don't know how to pronounce it.
No,
properly.
it did not feel cathartic at all because
yes.
if anything, this needs to be dragged out. I think there needs to be more humiliation heaped on Lyra by Becky before she fights back. Yeah, so to that point, I didn't like the aftermath because
Correct.
it was like, but you're the baby face. You need to be like honorable and say, I hold up your hand and just eat shit for a while so that we can sympathize.
How I would book it is that yes, she forced Lyra to hold up the hand, hold up the hand, go one round, blah blah blah, and then she kind of clotheslines her or like attacks with a belt.
Hantam her in the back, right? Yes.
Correct.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, so that would have still given her that sympathy and also give Becky renewed heat. Then people were like, oh shit, this girl won it, and she like raised him fair and square, but kind of beaten down and
Unless they are going to move her away from Becky. So if you know what I mean, right? Like this
maybe.
could be a sign that they're like, okay, we're going to move you away from Becky, but the heel won, so let's give the face like a moral victory at the end of the match. That is what my fear is now, that they're actually going to move away and Becky's going to feud with somebody else.
I don't think it's over though, bro. I think they're going to have a rubber match.
I hope so.
You know where the rubber match is going to be at?
Where?
Evolution.
Oh, the women's pay-per-view or PLE that's coming up. Yes.
Yeah. We will talk about the next upcoming slate of WWE event because it's very interesting. It will actually kind of inform the storylines going forward towards SummerSlam for sure.
Right. Let's then move on to the Money in the Bank men's match. We have Andrade, El Grande Americano, LA Knight, Penta, Solo Sikoa, and Seth Rollins.
Talk about a random collection of wrestlers.
I know. Okay, so I feel very bad for Andrade, but he's really fallen into this whole we bring him out for spots and that's it. Because Andrade,
he's the Dolph Ziggler / John Morrison of this generation, I think.
Yeah, he's just there to do cool spots, take cool moves, and that's really it.
Yeah. I mean, Penta being there also helped with that. I think that was interesting.
Huh? What do you mean by help with that?
No, I think Penta was also the Spot Fest king of this match lah.
Yeah, but he at least they're pushing him hard on Raw, right? He's getting a lot of shine and there's like a chance that he could win. LA Knight, again, another guy who's perpetually on the cusp of being a main event title holder. So he has a chance to win. If anybody is a wild card, is El Grande Americano.
Yeah, I thought that was so interesting they put him there just to give him that potential to win. Yeah. So I like that tease, right?
And I love that they are obviously trusting Chad. I mean, El Grande, like so much now.
Yeah. Bro, he can literally do 2 characters on WWE 2K going forward, bro. Can change the skin, bro.
Yeah, don't forget about Stephanie Vacker. This fella also wrestled like several matches in a short amount of time, okay? I mean, allegedly.
And I'm gonna say he wrestled the best match of the weekend.
Ooh, I'm not going to argue with you, bro.
We shall talk about it. Okay, anyway. You know who's my favorite guy from the match?
I know, the guy who has tickets. The guy who... Okay, you know what? Clearly, they're like, let's lean into your comedic timing and looks and face and stuff like that.
I'm sorry, bro. This solo would have been the main eventer, the Bloodline Chief, the Tribal Chief, bro.
Well, because he didn't need to be there at that time. The story was not for him.
Correct. Okay, at that point in time, he had to play the stoic bad guy. But now maybe he doesn't have to do this Bloodline story. He can kind of really let loose. Bro, my guy funny lah, bro. He damn funny.
Bro, he did the Cerro Mero, he did the LA Knight thing, and then he's begging up. Like, I love this wrinkle in his character, but also at the same time, it's not a good thing. Because that means he can take losses. He's a comedic heel. You know what I mean, right? Comedic heels generally are okay with taking losses, and that means he'll just take losses.
Okay, so what I like about him, it's not just his character, I mean, he's hilarious, right? But I know you didn't watch SmackDown, but there was this one backstage segment where I think he was talking to JC Mateo, which I'll never get used to Jeff Cobb being named that, by the way.
Yeah.
And he was saying, like, can we trust, Jacob? Jacob is like, all over the place. Will he have your back? And then Solo was like, hey, don't worry, bro. Jacob's all good. She's on my side. And, by the way, he's not that smart. You know what they say about him? All gas, no brains.
Yeah. So he talked shit about Jacob lah.
Yeah, and of course he walked away and being the typical Batista Triple H storyline lah. He overheard him.
Yeah, did they pan the camera back and then it's like, oh, he's there.
Yeah, not really pan. I think they walked away out of frame and then like the door was open behind and he kind of like walked in and he's like, So that led to whatever went down on Money in the Bank, right?
I want to ask you about that. So I mean, we're jumping ahead of stuff, but it's fine. Do you think that the turn came too soon? And do you think the wrong person turned on the other?
You think it should have been Solo doing it instead?
As in, yeah, obviously not in this case, in this scenario, right? But yeah, do you think that it should have been Solo that screwed Jacob somehow? As opposed to Jacob doing this because he got angry and, because he overheard him talking shit.
No, I think it's been building up. I think it was executed well. I think it was fine because we needed that cathartic line from Jacob, which he said on during the match, right? I hate you, Solo, right? Like he couldn't have done it if it was Solo turning on him, like physically, right?
I don't know. Like you say that the heel turn was. I feel like it has been sort of it's not subtle. It's sort of like ham-fisted, you know?
It wasn't bloodline level of complexity and, you know what I mean?
It didn't feel compelling. It was like, oh, he's going to turn him lah. He's going to turn. He's going to turn. And then finally, like when he turns, oh, yeah lah, there you go,
Yeah. It wasn't cinema. It was like a B-grade movie turn.
It was a Channel 5 show. It wasn't cinema. It was Channel 5.
Okay, but we all know, we've been knowing for months that they're eventually going to feud, right?
Yeah.
And if they're going to feud, and I think it makes sense to have like, Solo and Jacob feud over the US title. And it leads to a future match, whichever pay-per-view is next.
Yeah.
But I think it's so hilarious that Solo was in this match, but the biggest star coming out of that is Jacob Fatu. Jacob outshined Solo even though Solo was in the match.
Yes. I mean, yeah lah. I guess they didn't want to have Jacob like, in the match doing all the stuff. Like, let's save him.
Yeah. Irvin brought up a great point. She feels like Bailey and Damage Control. Interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. This is the funniest hot take for me lah. Like Solo was always like overshadowed by Jacob, right? We've always established that. But now when they finally turn, like they're turning and they're gonna break apart, I think it's a bit little too late, but suddenly Solo finally got very interesting. So I wish this version of Solo is the one that has been manipulating Jacob for the longest time.
Okay.
Right? So
is it a hot...
Yeah, sorry.
Is it a hot take to say that I think Jacob needs new material and Solo becoming comedic and suddenly more interesting actually makes Jacob look boring? Because
I actually agree, bro. Low-key, I agree, bro. I feel like now they are like equal stature. Like they both got both parts about that is compelling.
Yeah.
It's
a bit tombalik already. As in, previously Jacob had the aura because he was so like crazy. He was, that guy, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, we've seen the same thing from Jacob over a week in, week out, week in, week out, right?
Yeah.
And we see something new from Solo. We've seen it before, but now he's like actually really putting it out there. So I don't know. Now Solo becomes the more compelling person, and as a heel who's making people laugh, he might just turn face, which is ironic.
Yeah. So Solo and Jacob will probably go off on their feud, and that I think it's interesting to see how that develops. And I'm
how
happy,
JC Mateo fits into all that.
Hey, don't forget the true tribal chief when he comes back.
Oh God, Tongaloa.
Tamatonga and Tongaloa.
Tongaloa.
Where will their allegiances lie? right?
Okay, if they want to push Jacob Fatu as the babyface, of course the Tongans have to side with Solo. Then they can all beat up Jacob and then put Jacob through gauntlet, stuff like that. Yeah, lah, makes sense. Lah.
Correct. And then it makes sense for Jacob to go off alone because she's always been the wild card. They always say that he's this, criminal and you don't know what was going on with him, blah, blah, blah. Can you imagine him having an uneasy alliance with Jimmy Uso?
Oh, okay.
Big Jim.
I laugh because Irvin said JC Mateo cannot act. He constantly looks constipated. That is so true.
Last week the interaction with R-Truth and the group.
Yeah.
Like boy, you guys are big.
He husky. Is he your son? Walao, that's damn funny. Yeah. Hey, JC Mateo is now the Solo. Solo last time stand there quiet, stoic, right? Yeah. Now JC Mateo is the stoic fella. Solo is the comedian.
And I know I keep referencing SmackDown, but SmackDown actually opened with Seth Rollins' crew facing off against Solo's crew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was really, really interesting. Actually, that made me realize that, I've got some interesting factions that's kind of blooding in together. And Solo was actually looking at Seth and it's like, wow, so you talk about, you want to form a new team and all that, but aren't you technically forming your own bloodline? And then he was looking at Braun Breaker. Who is he supposed to be? Your right-hand man? and then Braun says, who's that going to be? Sami Zayn?
Yeah.
It was hilarious. So I think it might be a comedic babyface faction going forward with Tama Tonga Loa, bro.
Especially with Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa.
So just think about the animation for that bloodline group. Like when the three of them go out, you got Solo doing his tickets, you got Tama Tonga doing his yeah, and then you got Tonga Loa with his slipping down and falling
down and boxing and
that's hilarious, bro.
Oh my god, I want to see that shit. Okay, there you go. Let's talk about the other people involved in the match. Andrade, again, like I said, not much to say lah. He was there to take moves. El Grande Americano, do you think they highlighted him quite a bit? Because they sure talked about him a lot on commentary.
No, I think his role is just that. Like, he's just supposed to be like that, a bit hilarious, comedic, opportunistic kind of heel, and playing off of shit. I kind of accept him in this role. Yep. Terrible gimmick for sure. But
wait, hang on. I don't know why people hate it. I love it. I think it's great.
No, it's just ridiculous, right? But
yeah. But it's great. It's sure as hell better than Mr. America. Do you remember that bullshit?
Yeah, it's a definitely improved version of Mr. America. It's a terrible gimmick. I stand by that. But WWE's production team doing a great job highlighting the character. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that I would concede on that. Who else was in the match? Let me just.
LA Knight.
Yes, LA Knight. Okay, if Seth didn't win, right? Actually, I thought LA Knight would have won it, lah.
I feel like I would disagree. For me, the two people to win this were Seth and Solo.
Is the LA Knight ship, has it sailed?
I think he's fallen into that spot of, he's the veteran who we can trust. And anytime we can put him in the main event, but we don't need him in the main event because we have so many main event players. So, sorry.
In another timeline, I think, LA Knight easily would have been like a top star, like top 2-3 star. But WWE has a lot of top stars right now, and LA Knight has fallen down.
Who are younger. That's the key too. Yeah.
That's why somebody like Priest and McIntyre and LA Knight are kind of like in the behind the back benches of the main event.
But Drew and Priest already got their title. So at least they can have the whole former world champion tag. Unfortunately, LA Knight hasn't. And hopefully they give him some kind of run with the main title. So at least moving forward, former champion LA Knight. Because I think we all agree he deserves it. He has
It will come. It will come for sure.
Penta, it's too early for him to win something like that. He's obviously in that Stephanie Verker vibe of we want to push, but not so fast. Give them some time to cook. So yes.
Honestly, I'm happy for all the Latino stars because now they got Triple R as well in their sandbox, right? So they can do more. They can take a longer route in the mid card / do other promotion shit before they go to the main event.
And they can do the whole not upgrade, downgrade, but side grade into the other, corporations and win their title as well, which I'm sure to them is a big deal also.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and then of course we have Seth Rollins. I mean, you had Braun, you had Bronson getting involved makes sense, right? This his new bloodline after all.
Bro, I'm getting annoyed with Seth Rollins though, bro.
Why?
Can the brothers just quickly confirm what's their faction name. I'm so tired of calling it Seth Rollins and his crew. Like, can we just move on, decide on the name so we can call you by that name and then like go forward?
Right. Nasran says not upgrade into the LWO. Oh my god, I have so many things to say about the concept of the LW, and we'll get to that in Worlds Collide. But yeah, to me, Seth Rollins winning makes the most sense. He needs to be in the title picture. If he's supposed to be the most dangerous guy with his faction, he needs to be there threatening the championship and at some point winning the championship.
Yeah, I find it very interesting that there wasn't any appearance of CM Punk, Sami Zayn. Like, it felt like they really wanted to highlight Seth Rollins' character.
Yeah.
It is fine. I think Seth Rollins is the top heel on Raw. Makes sense. That's where he needs to be. And he's won the Money in the Bank 10 years to the day that he first won it. So, a bit of poetry there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the men's ladder match. Sammy's still busy dancing. Oh my god, I saw the video. I saw the clips on social media. Hey, bro got moves, huh? Bro got moves.
Bro got the halal vibes, bro. Halal moves. Halal move set.
Yes, yeah. That better be a move set in his 2K25 character model. Let's move on to the main event that we've already talked about, so we don't really need to say anymore.
Yeah, we can skip that. But let's just wrap it up by saying like, what's your letter grades for Money in the Bank, and how excited do you feel like now you're back on the bandwagon of like WWE's back on track or what?
Oh yeah, for sure. Look, at the end of the day, like I said, there's always going to be ups, going to be downs. I give this a solid 7, 6.5, 7 out of 10, to be honed.
I would say,
and the R-Truth moment gives it an additional 0.5.
I think this is their best PLE probably since like Elimination Chamber. Like I think Elimination Chamber got everyone got super hyped going out of it. WrestleMania disappointed. Backlash was par for the course. It wasn't like the best thing ever. Saturday Night's main event it is what it is. And this actually was the first PLE since Elimination Chamber that had the WWE world talking. Speculating, like excited what's gonna happen next.
Yes, I agree. So yeah, it was a fun watch. I didn't hate that I had to watch it. Let's just put it that way, okay?
Yeah.
Compared to certain pay-per-views, which hashtag oh no. All right, let's rewind the clock and actually go backwards now. I was actually like, should I watch it? Should I not watch it? Because I'm like, I don't really watch Lucha Libre that much. But I went ahead and watched it anyway. And you know what? I think maybe lowered expectations, or I didn't know what to expect, but I enjoyed it. Okay, I won't say I didn't know what to expect. I knew to expect flippy shit because it is Lucha Libre, right? Yeah. And I'll tell you, and this might be a hot take, I don't know, but I feel like with this one event, WWE has done more for Lucha Libre than AEW has ever done, highlighting all their wrestlers that have crossed over into AEW. Do you agree?
I thought El Hijo Vikingo was a star in this event, was presented like a star.
Yes.
Way more than whatever he did with Kenny Omega in AEW Dynamite, in my opinion.
You can argue that Vikingo Kenny match had more moves, was more athletic, had more crazy stunts and shit, but it did not propel him, Vikingo that is, or AAA, or the Art of Lucha Libre into the next sort of main event or mass media or
like a main event consciousness. The problem with that match was, while it was great in its own like sphere, like in its own bubble, it was a one-off match. It was there wasn't a follow-up, but you can tell from the way WWE is booking and like kind of slowly introducing El Hijo Vikingo, they have plans for him going forward beyond what happened. Even
as a one-off, as a presentation, you had video packages. Everybody, see, WWE does this so well. They know that they are not being, you should know that, which is AEW's biggest problem, right? They never educate. They're like, you should know, this guy. And then you have Excalibur just vomiting a bunch of stats about this guy, who this guy. No, they all have video packages.
Can I say, right? What got me hyped for this show? I had no expectation. I was just watching it.
Yep.
Bro, the first vignette, like the intro, the show intro to kick it off, bro. bro, that felt like WrestleMania 17
Yeah.
presentation, bro.
Yes, and they keep jumping back to the characters we know, the Rey Mysterios, the Eddie Guerreros, right? They bring them back because those are the frame of references that North American wrestling fans have. We know those guys. So now you connect it to, oh, he was inspired by this guy and this is the son, that is the relative, blah, 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 blah. That is how you bring in all these characters to make us give a shit. Because if not, I don't know who this fella is. I don't know who Aerostar is. He sounds like a Malaysian TV channel name, Aerostar. You know?
Astro.
Astro, yeah, similar vibes. Like, you know what I mean?
But the craziest thing is those wrestlers have appeared on AEW, bro. They
Yeah.
have done Forbidden Door, bro.
Yes. So that's my point. AEW has had these wrestlers, they've done matches, but they never made them, not say stars, but they never elevated them. They never made Lucha Libre something that is exciting to the average fan. WWE, through their presentation alone, has done that. That is my point.
Yeah, I agree. So, like, I never knew anything about the history of Triple A. I mean, I kind of know, like, there's Triple A, there's CMLL. I know, El Patron was the champion right before he dropped
we need to talk about that too.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. But I'm jumping ahead. But after the first match, they actually did a very quick, like, history, package about how Triple A came to be. And, like, bro, my brain was like, whoa, that's so interesting. So basically, Triple A was the offshoot of the original, oldest promotion in Mexico, which is CMLL.
Yeah.
And I think they came into existence in 1992 or 1994, I can't remember again. But in the early 90s, because they wanted to, go beyond traditional and, like, have a bit more innovation. So I kind of like the fact that, wow, okay, so this is like a breakaway promotion and it became its own thing. And now it has its own history. It would have made more sense for WWE to have a partnership with CMLL because it's the older, promotion. But the fact that they choose Triple A, why do you think it makes sense for them to buy over Triple A as opposed to doing a partnership with CMLL, in your opinion?
I mean, I don't want to speculate on the business end of things. Like maybe they were more willing to sell. Maybe CMLL didn't want to sell. I want to say hello to Div, by the way, who's sick. So just finished watching Money in Bank. We finished our review already, but yes, Div, please get well soon. Thank you so much for swinging by, even though you are not feeling well.
Yo, I see The Shadow as well. What's up, bro?
Big shout out to you. So back to this, again, I don't know about the business end of things, but obviously they bought AAA, so now they have this feeder system for talent, right? Obviously they want to make AAA a big thing, so they're going to use their WWE talent and their clout, and it was a free pay-per-view on YouTube, bro. How crazy is that?
Yep.
And now it's gotten so many eyeballs on that new product, and it's not a new product, it's WWE's new product, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, and as of this morning, it hit 1 million views already, bro. Like.
See, as someone who's in the media industry and looking at it from a promotion and production standpoint, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10 already. Because now I'm excited about AAA.
The production was great.
Yeah. Whereas previously, all I knew about them was, this fellow who fought Kenny Omega lah. Like one time, the Viking guy. Like, I didn't give a crap.
Yeah, and if I can also like glaze New Japan for a bit, right? Like, remember when you first watched New Japan because of Chris Jericho 2018, right?
Yeah.
You have to admit, the first thing that struck you about New Japan was how epic they make the wrestlers feel because of the presentation and of course the commentary, how Japanese commentary is. But like, there was just something about their aura that wasn't translated in AEW, and I think something about the aura that AAA and maybe the WWE production backing it that make them feel like, this was supposed to be just a Worlds Collide event, right? Like a collab event. But it felt important.
Yes. Bro, the previous Worlds Collides were kind of like, you can miss. Like, absolutely can skip. They were all like kind of crap.
Correct. Oh, Najwan said the lighting for Worlds Collide also kind of reminded me of Lucha Underground. I saw a few Lucha Underground elements. Speaking of Lucha Underground, the guy that I never thought would appear in WWE, in a proper role, Conan, bro. Conan, my guy Conan with another guy who I know poor thing is a bit demoted, but bro, Corey Graves.
Can I just say this, right? I've always been a huge fan of Corey Graves.
Yeah.
Watching Worlds Collide made me a huge, even bigger fan of Corey Graves. The fact that he is so knowledgeable about wrestling, the game, but at the same time too, he is such a good professional announcer. Like from a technical skill standpoint, I guess I
Yep.
pay attention to these things and most other people don't, right?
Yeah,
But
agree.
you can tell the entire time he's trying to tell stories and not just spout facts. Again, I hate to go back to it, but everything about the presentation and the way that Corey is trying to tell these stories, tell everyone about these characters that he knows. The average audience has no idea who any of these fuckers are. But he's grabbing links. And then you have Conan. I love Conan. I think he does a great job in his podcast as well.
Mm-hmm.
But he is a bit older already and cannot keep up with the action. I don't know if you felt that vibe, but he felt like that uncle who was like trying to tell story, but that shit is happening damn fast in the ring.
Conan felt like JR.
A bit.
Mexican JR.
Yeah.
There was a part where I think Conan was talking about, okay, like we were talking about the first match, the 6-man match, right? And then he's talking about how Cruz del Toro was like, wow, he's wrestling a much better match. Like he's showing more of himself than he ever did.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And I think like I don't know, he was making some sort of weird comparison, and then Corey Graves said this throwaway line that I kind of chuckled. He was like, it's gonna be a long night tonight, huh?
Like shit, I missed it.
No, you should hear it back, because I think it was kind of like a fourth wall thing where he was kind of like, that wasn't that funny, that wasn't that like interesting, but like I had to layan this old uncle. Then he made a joke, I guess it's gonna be a long night. So it's gonna be a long night for me.
He's quite, sarcastic like that, like he can be, I know. But that's why I freaking love Corey Graves. I'm very sad that you know what? Here's another hot take. I think that Pat McAfee sometimes can be, like he's there because he's a celebrity.
He's not a hot take, bro. He's not a better announcer than Corey Graves for sure.
I think, yes, but he's just more famous. And I think Corey Graves and Michael Cole was actually the better commentary team.
There was a night, remember, when I think Pat was away and it was Corey that kind of like being part of that. And he made that whole night was so I think it was the Netflix on Raw, I think. Could be one of the big events.
Yeah. Pat is great for the energy and the passion. Like he represents us, the fans, right? Because he's that guy. He's like, yo, whatever. But sometimes he's a bit like, okay. Whereas Corey is knowledgeable and he can take either role. He can be the heelish commentator.
The Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
But
sarcastic and you always bully Byron Sexton, you remember last time?
Yep.
Or he can be the play-by-play guy. He can be the very objective, serious guy. He's so goddamn talented. Oh my God, the Corey Graves glazing today from me.
He reminded me of like Joey Styles when he was commentating ECW One Night Stand. On this night. Like he had the perfect blend of like expertise, analysis, trying to tell stories, trying to keep Conan in line, trying to introduce these new characters to new audience. Like he did a great job.
I think somebody was telling Conan to lay off a bit. Don't tell story, because you can tell he kept saying, let me tell this story one time. He's trying to tell his uncle's story, but they are trying to cut him off. Say, hey, talk about the match. Shit's happening.
But the funny thing is, right, 2 years ago in LA, when he was kind of inducting Rey Mysterio for Hall of Fame, he was actually really captivating. I think in that 2 years, probably he slowed down a lot.
I mean, you know what he would be great for? He would be great for like a post-show like panel sort of a guy where he can talk about the history and stuff like that. But calling the match, I kind of wish they brought in maybe a third person, a younger person to have Corey bounce off.
Excalibur, another master.
No, absolutely not Excalibur. That's the last freaking person. But yeah, that aside, I think that they obviously had him there for the the culture, for the history. But it was a bit awkward at times. But I think Corey handled it perfectly.
Yeah, okay. I know we can glaze for another couple of minutes, but I think let's power through the matches.
Okay, come. Octagon Junior.
Let's not talk about every single thing that happened in the match.
But let's just have our quick thoughts. I'll go through the card right now. So we got Octagon Junior, Aerostar, Mr. Iguana versus Latino World Order of Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, and Lince Dorado. Like, he just randomly showed up. He had to replace Joaquin Wild.
He's not part of LW. I think it was just a one-off thing. Again, the only thing I remember from this match was, damn, Mr. Iguana, bro. La Yesca.
At first, I was like, hey, what is this green dust? He looked like gold dust, but with green paint.
Yeah. Reptile character.
Look, I think that I would be hypocritical if I didn't go, okay, this is a comedy act. It's on the same level as Orange Cassidy of Socko. Actually, no, I wouldn't even say Socko. For as ridiculous as Socko was never like it's moving, like it's it was just a sock on Mankind's hand.
It was Santino and Cobra.
Yes, Santino and Cobra took it to a ridiculous level already.
Yeah. Remember that one year Royal Rumble, Socko versus Cobra? Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, that kind of nonsense. Okay, here's my thoughts on La Yesca and Mr. Iguana. It's a kid character, right? I mean, it's a character for the kids. I think it's over because it's kind of like fresh. And when you think of Lucha Libre, you didn't think about this interpretation of Lucha Libre.
Yes.
So it's kind of unique, right?
The Spanish fly on the iguana was goated. Says Nashwan. Oh God.
Oh dear God.
This is one step away from wrestling with a sex doll.
So that's the thing, right? Like when the opponent started attacking the La Yesca and doing moves on it, and like people reacted, I was like, okay, fine. But he is really popular, and
yes.
I do not mind, like, there's this act for the people who want to go to AAA, and like I want to see a character that I've never seen before.
Yes.
Like it works in that context. I just hope that it does not get run into the ground like an Orange Cassidy right now.
Yeah. Like they'll have them show up a bit here and there on NXT, whatever, do a few segments, but not an every week thing. I think that's too much. I think it will make the product look stupid. And I think WWE understands and realizes this. So he can exist in his little, AAA world that's fine, right?
Yeah.
Watching this, I actually come to appreciate the more slower paced WWE style. It can be argued that a lot of the matches were slowed down because of the WWE talents involved.
Yeah.
And
I want to agree with Conan by saying that actually this was Cruz del Toro's best match that I've actually seen him in.
Yeah.
Bro was a ring general in this match, I gotta say.
I feel bad because I've seen Cruz del Toro with Joaquim Wild and Santos Escobar as Legado del Fantasma in NXT, and I thought they were a great group. And I, for the life of me, cannot understand why when he gets called up to the main roster, this fella kinda stuck with LWO. And I do not like the LWO. Not in a I don't like them because they suck way. I think that resurrecting an old faction with completely new members just because they are Latino is like cheating. Yeah, and it's a easy way out.
Bro, even using Eddie Guerrero's Latino, that is also like a cheap pop.
Yeah.
Because it's not them.
Yeah, and after a while you see through it because they are not necessarily involved in any good storytelling either.
Correct.
So it's like, we have nothing for you, we just tag the LWO logo on you because you're Latino. That's it. It's like the Japanese wrestlers, your gimmick is your Japanese. Their gimmick is their Latino.
No, and also the fact that you are not creating yourself, like you're living off a legacy. Like it's really the best case of nepotism in a way, right? Like living off an old gimmick.
And Irvin brings up the point. LWO, let's not forget, was a jobber faction that lasted 3 months in WCW. They are an offshoot of the NWO.
How crazy is that this iteration of LWO has lasted way longer than the original one? Right?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. So anyway, we won't go into this too much. It was, I guess, it's a very lucha match law. Like, I still am not a fan of... Okay, so there's selling and there's registering. And I realize a lot of the lucha guys don't register hits. Do you know the difference between registering and selling?
Yes, registering is like, you actually react to a move that is being hit.
Yes.
But then selling is like really selling the effects of it.
Yeah. Like, so selling will be like, oh shit, oh my jaw. And then you sell it throughout the match, right? Registering is when the person hit you, you actually freaking move.
Correct.
Yeah, even if he doesn't hit you, like, that's the whole point. If you don't register it, then it looks like nothing happened. You know who's very guilty of not registering shit?
Who?
Jon Moxley. That's why his matches look like shit. Because when someone hits him, he's just like nothing happened like that. Then after that, he
I think he forgot to sell really. I think he never practiced that skill set.
Yeah, in so long that he's like, F it. That was my big takeaway from actually a lot of the luchas. A lot of them don't register. They sell, but they don't register.
Because in their style, they don't find the need to sell. Like they're always doing sequences and moves and stuff like that. What?
Yeah. But with the WWE sort of storytelling behind it, it was slightly more palatable. But ultimately, I wouldn't say I was converted lah. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the next match.
Okay, Stephanie Becker, Lola Vice versus Chick Tormenta and Dallas.
Not gonna lie, yeah, I didn't follow any of the female
The story.
the female AAA wrestler. I know they were trying to tell a story. One of them is actually Stephanie Becker's mentor.
Yes.
Didn't come across in the match. They didn't have that stare down or make it look like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, Lola Vice, I think she was there just for a field trip. I think she was just riding off the coattails of Stephanie Becker. And of course, I won't be remiss to say, without saying about the fact that they did the double devil's kiss. I mean, that was... Yeah, that was a highlight lah, I guess.
But Gunati out there,
Gunati.
watching this going, Anyway.
Oh no.
Okay, let's move on then. Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah.
Again. Legado del Fantasma. Santos Escobar, they were trying to tease a whole Berto, like he's trying to leave the faction. I don't know if you followed on that. They had a few weeks on SmackDown where he like get angry with them and he's like, I don't team with you, I don't friend you. And then they had a sit down talk. We are La Familia, blah, blah, blah. And then I guess they're all, on the same page now. Like I see these three, I see like so much talent in Escobar. He's what do you call himself? El Comandante, the commander, right? Like I loved him in NXT, but on the main roster, they just haven't found the right story for him.
I'm so sad the crowd is not chanting
Legado. Because they've been completely they're dead in the water in terms of a story,
No, bro, this triple partnership is the best thing that can happen to LWO, Legado, the festival. They should be like thanking their lucky stars. Fine, yes. I got somewhere to showcase my talent.
Correct. Angel Garza, right? Like he's freaking handsome. Like I miss the whole like cocky, like I'm so handsome, steal your girl vibe. Like all that is gone. And then Berto, I mean, he looks great. They both should be stealing girls.
Yeah, Humberto look like freaking Taylor Black, bro. Taylor Lautner from Twilight, bro. Like
right. Okay, so they fought. Yeah, they fought El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown.
Again, like I said, Psycho Clown was the only one that stood out. Again, because his look is so distinct, right?
Yeah.
I know that Wagner guy actually did quite a good job, I would say. He was carrying the match. But that Pagano, whatever that guy is.
I don't even remember how he looks.
Yeah, the third guy, he sucks. He sucks balls.
Wow.
Bro, he was the definition of like flippy shit that really cannot make it. But the rest of the flippy shit somehow got make sense. This one, I think he just missed a lot of his... He basically had a chance to shine, but he completely just like screwed his chance, bro.
It's okay lah. It happens lah. It happens. Not everybody can be perfect. So, to me, I think... once again, the WWE talents slowing things down for the Lucha talents helped tremendously.
Yeah. Najwan he said that Wagner took the pin. I kind of don't care lah.
Yeah, same. Like, why you guys so hung up on Wagner? Like, is he like super popular or something?
Yeah, I would say Psycho Clown would have been devastating if he took the pin because he was actually interesting to me.
Stood out, right? Like
his look is very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, to me, the ones that stood out here in this match were Santos, Angel, and Berto, strangely enough.
No, the trio actually legitimately look like a threat, like a great trio.
Group, right? They were all in like their army pants and everything. Like, I thought they were... Please push Santos Escobar. Like, have them destroy the LWO or something like that.
You know what? Bring Santos up to the main event of AAA. Like, I want to see him fight El Hijo. I think it will be a great showcase for him.
Oh, Irvin says they're all wrestling for their jobs because AAA wrestlers all not officially signed yet. Ooh!
Does this remind you of freaking WCW?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, wow. Abeza, TKO, do what you need to do.
Okay, I think Mr. Iguana got job ready.
Mr. Iguana is fine. He's fine.
Yeah, the pop and everything. Yeah. Okay, come. Let's move on to the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT North American title. Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Laredo Kid, Rey Fenix.
It's so crazy because three of these wrestlers was in AEW television like just a couple of years ago, right? Laredo Kid as well.
Yeah. I for the life of me did not remember Laredo Kid at all. Rey Fenix, I feel bad for, because so if he was the second one to come in out of the Lucha Bros, right? And they haven't been able to find the right spot for him on the main roster. I feel that's why he's now on NXT challenging, stuff like that.
For the North American Championship, yeah.
Yeah.
I think him and Penta has the Julia and Stephanie Booker situation, I think, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, eventually they will have that payoff when they team up together,
Yeah,
right?
of
But I think they're
course.
trying to build Ray Phoenix. This match, right, make me appreciate Ethan Page a lot.
Yeah. He
Right.
was the guy that slowed things down, and he stood out, right? If everybody is doing the flippy shit, the one that's not doing the flippy shit stands out.
Yeah. But that being said, I thought Javon Evans outshined all the other luchadors, which is
I also
interesting.
yes, I agree. I wanted to say exactly that. Like,
Yeah.
the WWE guys really showed out.
Yeah, and the thing, like Ray Phoenix, you can do so much more, right? But he was holding back, so I think the WWE style has helped kind of slow him down.
Yeah.
But he just makes him not stand out. Is that weird to say that?
What do you mean, Ray? Yes, because
Yeah,
because his whole gimmick was he can do all these cool, flippy, crazy, fancy moves. But as we know from watching the other show, if that is all you do every week, week in and week out, it's gonna get boring and stale.
yeah. But I would argue that he is the best at doing all the crazy shit. Even in AEW, remember he was like amazing in that.
Yeah.
But in this environment, I don't know whether it's like he got maybe conflicting orders. Like maybe one producer say, "Hey bro, I think you should slow down, still do the WWE style."
Yeah.
And then one producer say, "Hey, this one is Lucha Libre, maybe you can kind of loosen up a bit more." And then he got confused a bit. So he he never really stand out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you though. Javon Evans definitely stood out here. I think there were like one or two like weird, awkward like timing issue moments.
Yeah. Javon wanted to, I think, really be put over the map, and I think the rest of the wrestlers in the match was trying to help him.
Yeah.
And the crowd was behind him, right?
Yes.
Do you think it would have been the right time for him to get the title win?
No, I think this was just a showcase for the wrestlers, and you're not going to advance an NXT storyline, on this excursion lah. This is an exhibition match for the, most part.
Agreed. Yeah, I kind of felt like it wasn't the right place to draw the title because it wasn't an NXT showcase event.
Yeah. Yes.
But
By the way, Dave, yes, we already discussed Dom starting a brawl leading to Money in the Bank. We actually kind of skipped it on our Worlds Collide. I will just say it felt a bit weird that he was like, yeah, I want to match with you, and I'm going to make it an intercontinental title match. I'm like, why would you put your title up on the line, you bodo?
Yeah, he was then bodo about it. But,
yeah, I'm like, okay. That was the only thing that was stupid. But the rest of it, great. He's the only guy that can get heat from shitting on his dad.
Amazing, bro. I mean, and Conan talking shit about him was quite funny. Like, oh, he's the only kid I know who got a Mercedes BMW when he was 60 and he still never appreciated his dad. Like, it felt real. It felt like he really felt that way. Like, this guy.
But the truth is, you probably know that he's super, like, Conan probably loves Dom. Like, they all grew up, together. He's like his dad,
He's probably so proud of Dom the way,
Yeah.
Ray.
Which is great, right? It's the other level of pro wrestling. So, okay, the main event then for the AAA Mega Championship. So, we alluded to this earlier, and watching the video package, I love learning about El Hijo del Vikingo. Once again, I learned more about him, and I cared more about him in this one package and match than I have his entire run in AEW. So, this all goes to presentation, telling stories, and not just vomiting facts.
And I felt there's the importance of the Mega AAA Championship.
Yes.
Because, I just wanted to quickly say, like, Kenny Omega has won that title before. Remember, he was the belt collector?
Yeah.
Didn't matter at all.
No.
On AEW TV.
See, because he's just there parading with 10,000 belts. So what does any of them mean? Nothing. If you have 10 of them, means they're all shit, what? Like,
correct.
Not
but now this feels like there was stakes. Like, oh wow, that title, right?
Again, presentation matters. Now, the video where he wins the title, I don't know if you noticed this.
I did.
Okay, the pin. Every moment where he's standing there holding the title, you do not see what's his AAA name? Patron?
Alberto El Patron, yeah.
Alberto Del Rio, formerly known as, right? Okay, have WWE really decided, okay, we erase this guy from WWE history altogether? Like, what is the deal?
Bro, kena Chris Benoit like crazy, bro.
I mean, okay.
No, but he got like charges lah. That's why, bro.
Oh, is it?
I thought you know the story, like he domestic
The
abuse with Paige.
Right, yeah.
And then I think they broke up, and then a few years later he actually got arrested by another girlfriend for domestic
Oh,
abuse. So basically the guy is a wife beater. He's a stone cold lah, essentially lah.
huh? Stone Cold?
Stone Cold beat the wife also what? Then
Huh?
arrested. You don't know this story?
Who? When? Deborah?
I don't know whether it could be Deborah. Yeah, Deborah I think filed a restraining order against Stone Cold.
Well,
Yeah.
shit, Stone Cold got out of that and became a star.
No, this was happening in like when he's already a star, like 2002, 2003.
How do I not know this?
Bro, you go read up your Google. You go Google Stone Cold domestic abuse. This is one of the
my
reasons
God.
why. Yeah, he was a wife beater.
Oh, Irvin says
Literally.
yes, it was Deborah.
Yeah.
How
shit.
dare he beat the puppies? That's terrible. Yeah lah. So all the scandals and all the charges. So yeah, apparently down in Mexico that time they don't care he can be champion. But
No, that was the reason why I think he dropped the title, bro. I think
yeah. That's exactly it. When TKO bought over, they're like, okay, we can't have this guy. We are not going to even acknowledge his existence. Vikingo is going to win the title over a unnamed, no-face guy.
Bro, he kena the Chris Benoit. He was like Randy Orton won his first title, never see Chris Benoit. It's the same shit, bro.
Like, he's doing the pin. You can't see the guy's face. Who is he pinning? They don't see his name at all. Oh, no, Vikingo. He wins the title. Blah, blah, blah. He's great. Blah, blah, blah. He win from who? Don't know.
Well, if you're not going to acknowledge him, we shall not acknowledge him, not talk that much about him. Can we talk about the other half of this equation? My guy, bro. This is really Kurt Angle's son, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
He made a big mistake not making him the son because he is Kurt Angle.
Yeah, no. Let's go with Jason Jordan, sure. Okay, so like I think the entire internet and we agree that just give him all the titles at this point. We're talking about Chad Gable, right? El Grande Americano. And like he showed us some shit.
Bro, this match was like, okay, I know in WWE there's a style to it. He had to kind of slow things down. But this was such a perfect showcase for him and for Lucha Libre in like it made Lucha Libre legit. It made him legit. I don't know. It just elevated both of them in this match.
Bro, Chad has become that guy. Chad has become the guy you put him against Chad, he'll give you a great match.
Yeah. So now this pissed me the F off. Now I want freaking Chad to get his IC title run. I want him to become world champion. I just want him to finally go out to the main event because this guy has been slogging it in American Alpha and freaking Alpha Academy.
That's why I kind of wanted him to win the Money in the Bank. I mean, El Grande Americano to win the bank. Then it can be this tongue-in-cheek joke where it's like, Chad is forced to wrestle as El Grande because El Grande won the title, blah, blah, blah. I guess they weren't going that way, lah.
Yeah.
And Seth, actually, okay, lah. To be fair, Seth winning made more sense. But it's like, I think we all can agree, Chad hasn't gotten his flowers yet. And he has been just killing it at the highest level.
Okay, you know what's crazy about this match? Like, I was thinking about it. I was watching it again, the highlights and all that. I honestly think this match will be universally loved by critics. And not just like WWE fans,
Yes.
This match, I think even Dave Meltzer is going to, oh shit, actually this is a 5-star match. Like,
yes.
It appeals to all the spectrums of like the smart fans, casual fans, Lucha Libre fans, WWE fans. Because it just hit all the right spots.
Yes.
It wasn't, okay, there was flippy shit, right?
Yeah.
But I felt so invested in what was happening. Even the crazy stuff that they were doing, like with the Canadian Destroyer on the apron and all that stuff, like it built up to it. So when that moment happened, I was like, holy shit, and he sold it after that.
Didn't it give like Kurt, I know it's not an exact comparison, but didn't it give like Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle?
Yeah, it did. And what do you think of El Hijo's performance here?
I don't know. Okay, to me, I feel like I watched this and I was completely smitten by Chad. He's such a Chad, right? That El Hijo, I was like, okay, so his job is to make El Hijo look good. Yeah. So I don't know, like, maybe like I feel like, okay, part of my view of this match is that Chad Gable did so well, Vikingo had to look good, even if he wasn't.
He dragged him up to a great level or something.
Yes.
What
did you think?
I would say it reminded me of that match that I think Sabu had with Rey Mysterio in ECW 2006.
Okay.
Like ECW, like Sabu wrestled his style,
Yeah.
but Rey Mysterio also wrestled his style, but elevated Sabu to make him feel dangerous. I do not know how to
Yes.
explain it, but
Yeah.
I think more or less that lah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. So I
Yeah.
think that Vikingo versus anybody else might not have been as excuse me, as great a match.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, flowers to Chad.
Oh my god. So if anything, Chad shone brighter in this match, I feel.
But I kind of want Chad to win the Mega Championship now. You know what I mean?
Oh, so I was like, after the match, I was like, can you imagine if Chad won? And then he now is walking around. He would be like the biggest heel in Mexico.
Yeah. But in a weird, crazy way, I felt like he should have traded places. He should be in Money in the Bank, and Americano should have been in Triple A and do this banger match.
Yeah.
So if he won and became a heel, it would still have fit the Lucha Libre. But I don't know, man.
Yeah. Either way, I think, because he's such a good wrestler and he's one of those guys. He makes a stupid angle work. He tries his hardest to make that stupid angle work. Everything from Shorty G, I mean, that one was just doomed to fail to begin with.
It was doomed. Giga Chat, according to
Chat, yeah. But Alpha Academy, he made that shit work, even though it was kind of like, oh, okay, whatever, right?
Yeah. I think he's already paid his dues. TKO, you want to put the machine behind R-Truth Pro. Put the machine behind Chad Gable. Please.
Yeah, they need to make him the guy at some point. Maybe not now. I think now he's in a good spot. He's proving his worth. Like you can tell Triple H freaking loves this guy.
If there's anyone you really elevate to the next level, the next person, I think Chad is more than ready to be like world championship material.
He is Kurt Angle version 2. Like if anybody has the same vibe, same like wrestling style, same goofy, like Kurt Angle was goofy sometimes.
But like no one is gonna say like he's a rip off. Like it's almost as if like he is a copy of Kurt Angle, but everyone is like, holy shit, he's amazing. Like it's wild. I don't know how to kind of like verbalize that.
To be compared to Kurt Angle is not a bad thing. I think I think it's fine.
Like legitimately compared, not like in a spoof way or like making fun of him way. Like Jack Swagger, sorry bro, couldn't make it, right? But fucking Jack Gable, yes, he's really that guy.
Yeah, so I love the match too. I think we can agree that this was probably the best match of the weekend.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say it's a NXT level, yellow and gold level, the best of New Japan. Blows a lot of things out of the door. It was great. It was great.
Yeah. You got me hyped up, bro. I want to rewatch this main event.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch it again, guys. So if you guys missed it, you all should watch it. Okay. 2.5 hours. I can't believe it. I just realized.
There you go, bro. There was a lot of wrestling to be watched. Hopefully you guys, enjoyed us talking about it. Thank you so much for being here. But we also need to thank one other person, as it relates to the podcast, of course. He's helping us keep the lights on, as it were, talking about our guy, Hasif, the sponsor of the podcast.
Yeah, man, long-term partner going forward. He's really supportive of what we're doing in the community. Guys, please follow him if you haven't. If you're looking for any sort of financial planning or advice, he's your guy as well.
Bro, talk to him about fitness. Talk to him about F&B, entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
he's such a fascinating guy. He has so many thoughts about all these things. And advice.
Yeah, for sure. I was just at Katoshka when he was selling his Rasa Faiz in Ramadan. He's doing great. He's doing great. So please support him because he is supporting our community, keeping the lights on for the podcast as well.
There you go. Hasif_captures on Instagram. Drop him a follow. If you want to have tea with Hasif, drop him a DM as well. Oh, Irvin says, a lot of things happening, bro. TNA pay-per-view, AEW Fighter Fest, that one can miss. UFC, I haven't watched UFC in a while. Is that why they're suffering? Like, they have no stars anymore?
Yeah,
NBA playoff game happening also.
We are going to try our best to keep up. I think if you guys are enjoying this nighttime stream, this is going to be going forward our regular time slot.
Yeah, good luck to our other halves, by the way.
Probably.
Losing access to their men
on the
Sunday.
weekend. You better check your WhatsApp after this, bro. After we log out, we better talk to your wife. Yeah, so if it's a live PLE, we probably do it on a Sunday night. And then if it's pre-recorded, our usual time on Monday afternoons, but we'll always be hanging around on the chat. So please support us on Discord because the stream is still popping. People are still chatting on the Discord. Shout out to all you guys that was like talking in the morning, talking about Money in the Bank. And of course, for those of you who have been supporting us on Patreon, we really, really appreciate it. That really also helps us, monetize what we do in the podcast because that's what we want to do, right? We want to be able to do this, for like a commit to a more of our efforts here. So, if it makes money, we are happy to do so. For sure.
Absolutely. We love talking about wrestling. We love talking about wrestling with you guys, even if you disagree with us. I know we have some weird takes. I've definitely shared my fair share of weird takes. We learn together, bro. We learn together. Today, Foreign learned
weird takes, bro.
No. Today, Foreign learned the term guna. If you missed it, go back in the video on demand, go and watch. We taught him a new word today.
We have no weird thing. We only have very specific preferences.
Hashtag oh no. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out. We appreciate the heck out of each and every one of you. We'll be back next week. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff to, review.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And of course, like the slate that's coming up, bro. We have freaking Evolution, like I was mentioning. We got Night of Champions. And then it will lead to SummerSlam as well. So it's going to be fun. Even on the AEW side, you know what? I'm curious to know how All In is going to go. That's their big show in July.
Oh gosh, yes, you're right.
Yeah, and then they have Forbidden Door, which I think is going to be pushed back. So we will do our best, but
Okay,
we'll
very quickly, I just pulled up the schedule, right?
Yeah.
So the next thing for the WWE is Night of Champions on my birthday, Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
End of June, right?
Yes, end of June, June 28th. Then July 12th, Great American Bash, that is NXT. Yes. Yep. Then we got Saturday night's main event again on the same night as Great American Bash. Evolution is July 13th, Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
August 2nd and 3rd is SummerSlam. And then Clash in Paris. August 31st.
That's it. Okay. So yeah, it's going to be a fun couple of months for WWE. So, and bro, don't forget local wrestling as well as popping as well. So, I mean, there's always wrestling if you look out for it and seek it.
Oh, for sure. Okay, that's it. Again, thank you, everybody. Have a great week ahead. Yeah, it's a Sunday night. Go and rest. Go and, do what you need to do. And then, as always, swing by the Discord. Let's chat more. I'm sure a lot of things will develop, especially on Raw.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Let us know. Update us. Follow us on the Instagram.
As always, it's Mr. Young.
And it's Foreign in the building. Take care.
Let's go.